Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs 24 hours early.
Yeah.
You can never call me late and gay again. I have built up a cache of earliness today.
There you go.
Take that. Take that. What's up, guys? I'm Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, my friend, Mr. Uncivil Law. How you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good today, actually.
Yeah?
I've been streaming all day. I'm feeling good. I was streaming all day yesterday and all day the day before that. So I've been streaming all day for like 3 days.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because you mentioned that you were streaming all day, and I was like, really? Like, what have you been streaming? But then I remembered when I looked at YouTube earlier, it had the recommendation, and you're covering that nurse trial.
Yeah.
That's going on. I was like, oh yeah, someone asked me about that, but my my daytime schedule's been weird, so I haven't.
So I'm 2 days behind. They gave it to the jury today, so I was streaming day 1 today. So they'll probably have a verdict before I'm done covering it. But
so
it's been interesting covering it.
You're telling me that someone asked me to cover a trial that was televised, and it was a 3-day trial instead of a 19 effing week trial that they've been having lately?
Yes.
God, why did I skip out on that? How did I miss it? Why? All these trials are like so long.
I know, right?
And I keep telling people, and Branka keeps telling people, it's like, well, look, no, normal murder trials are like a couple days. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get. And it's like, but everyone recovers 2 weeks, 3 weeks long. It's like, oh my God. But yeah, so I'd be interested to talk about that as we get into it. We have some other topics set up. So I have that you're joining to talk about the Trump lawsuit. I've got a Rogan on big tech issue, which shouldn't take too long. Judge Ketanji Jackson Brown Jackson. My dad used to listen to Jackson Brown so much when I was a kid that I cannot say Brown Jackson.
Not sure what a woman is, but our next Supreme Court justice.
A little maybe light on certain sentencing as well.
Yes, I saw your coverage of that as well.
Yeah.
And I share your frustration because I want the judge's remarks. Because Hawley and these other guys seem to be reading from this transcript. They say, well, we're reading from this 55-page transcript. I'm like, where is this magical transcript coming from? Because you go into Pacer, you can find the government's motions for sentencing. You can find the defense motions for sentencing. The judge's remarks are sealed, and there are no transcripts. Where are these fictional? Where are they reading from? Because I'd love to read it and try to see if maybe somehow it makes sense. I just try to analyze it, and I can't get to the primary source material. It's driving me crazy. And
the pre-sentence report is also sealed.
Yeah,
I can't figure out why the judge's comments would be sealed on that one. Like, it's just wild. Oh, wait a minute. There's a question in the chat from.
They're sealed in all of them, all the cases, all 7 of them. They're all sealed.
Yeah. Which is wild. That's very strange. Attorney Tom says, at Uncivil, who's taller, me or him? He says me or Nick. And he says, you know the truth, which you do, but I want to present evidence before you answer. Is that okay? Can I present evidence?
Sure.
Okay. And then after reviewing this evidence, Judge, you can determine who's taller. So I'm getting it pulled up right now. Okay, this should work. This will be good enough. Share screen. Here we go. So I have to ask who's taller. And this is the evidence that's submitted. This is not me. This is from Boston Mom. A very important Twitter poster, obviously. But it's right here. It's got the 2 skeletons, Ricada Law and Attorney Tom. I don't know if people need me to zoom in. to see that.
I can't help noticing some differences in the bone structure, which seems to suggest some things.
What differences in bone structure? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
The hip bones in particular.
No, I have been assured that there are not differences in bone structure between different skeletons.
Okay.
So I want to point that out, that science has settled on that. Here, look, I don't know how to make this.
Mhm.
I guess I could just zoom in. I just want to point there's evidence here on these very official signs, RICO Law and Attorney Tom. So,
Where do they get a picture of your skeleton?
look, Kurt, this is from the future.
Ah.
This is Tom and I will be put in a museum next to each other.
Okay.
In memoriam.
I can't help noticing it says that your age of death is somewhere between 30 and 50, so you might want to watch out for that.
Yeah, well, you live hard. You live hard and fast sometimes. So anyway, so the evidence has been, look, and our feet are at the same level. So there's no cheating here. This is the evidence I put before you, the judge. Who is taller, me or Attorney Tom?
Well, I can't really define the word tall. I'm not a measurement expert.
I'm not a ruler.
I'm not a ruler. I don't work for the National Institute of Standards and Technology, so I can't help you on that one.
Damn it. I guess the war must continue and the answers will never come. So there we go. So there you go, Tom. The next shot's on you, man. I took two because I've put two different pieces of evidence now before the world that show that I am clearly much taller than you.
You're both tall in my heart.
But yeah, so the Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of her comments on these cases are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing mitigating factors of any particular sort. I mean,
well,
in the Hawkins,
it wasn't 600. It was what'd she say? It was something like 17 photos and 19 videos or something. So it wasn't really 600.
Yeah,
it was only 17 and 19 or something like that.
Right. That was the thing. Although the complaint says 600 photos.
Maybe they're duplicates.
Well, he pled. So probably pled to the uploaded videos and uploaded pictures.
And I believe also engaged in a little light distribution.
Yeah, just minor, just a little bit.
Distribution.
Minor is the wrong word, but some light distribution, I think. Yeah, uploading to YouTube.
That's I mean, I get my channel hijacked and he's able to upload the CP to the YouTubes, man. I mean,
well, and so you know what the best part about this was? In the defense memo, I noticed this. The Judge Jackson was like, "Oh, you're just viewing it. You're not really doing anything." He specifically uploaded it to YouTube because the other channel that he got it from was popular. So he was specifically intending popularity through the distribution of this material.
Well, that's why I rip off your material for the popularity.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine's a little less salacious most of the time. But so it was like, wait, but Judge, he's intending to distribute this to as many people as possible by his own admission of why he chose to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
And she's just fine with it.
3 months does seem like a bit of a strange resolution to my mind for the possession of the 600 images. Seems like especially with some distribution in there. I mean, as we pointed out, you get more time for speeding ticket in some states. It's like
yeah.
I mean, you speed in Virginia, you might spend 3 months in prison. So it's like,
it's crazy. So that that whole thing bothers me. It bothers me that we can't read the transcripts. I feel like when ACB was getting was being confirmed, that there was a link to the materials where you could find all of her, because they had.
I found the link for
like,
ACB stuff. I found the link on the judiciary. So the link is still there.
Yeah, I
But
feel
I
like
can't
that link
find.
was.
I can't find his. I want to read. I want to read the damn transcript.
Yeah, yeah, me too. It bothers me that we can't read this stuff that the Senate is reading into. Well, sort of reading from into the public record, but we're disallowed and disfavored. So, but anyway, but what do you
She can't
think?
find a woman is like somehow bothers me more. It's because like the fact she's unwilling to do that. It's like I can't define a woman. I'm like, because I'm not a biologist. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also like the implication of that, because it implies the biologist can answer that question. So it's like,
Yeah,
are you saying a biologist can answer it?
true.
We could get a biologist and their answer will be determinative. That'd be great.
Yeah, let's put a biologist up there. Did they do that today? Because today was other people that they asked questions
today was
about.
other people day, and I didn't feel like covering that. So I covered day 1 with the everyone talks and says their words, and then I covered the day 2 and 3 with questions, and then day 4 with more words. I'm like, I'm good, and I decided to cover something else.
Well, there was someone sent me an interesting moment from today. Let me pull that up. Well,
I mean, it's just everyone writing their speeches to get a little camera time for their campaign literature or whatever. Yeah, that's basically what today was. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that is true, but
preening for the camera, trying to get a really good soundbite so they can make a campaign ad or something. That's all today is.
Well, Sheldon Whitehouse.
He's not annoying in any way.
Oh, he's horrible. Is this
Booker though with the masturbatory session? Did you see Booker yesterday? Did you see that?
No, I heard it was garbage.
Oh, dude, you got to do a react to that shit, because you got to get some bourbon or something, and you got to do a react to Booker, man, because I'm like, that is just you written all over it, man. Holy shit.
Okay.
I watched it real time. You got to suffer.
Here's 39 seconds of Sheldon Whitehouse today. So this is quick. This is quick. Little 1.1 million views on Twitter on this one. Hold on, here we go.
Is Joseph R. Biden of Delaware.
Can't hear.
Oh,
I mean, it's very, very low.
It's very low. So
very low. I can barely hear anything.
Okay, hold on. Let me crank it up. It's weird. It sounds weird. Like when it's coming through my headphones, it sounds like it's coming through my computer speaker, but that's not what's going on. It's just awkward audio. But I think I'll have it fixed here in just a moment. Oh, wait, tell me if this is better.
Is
yes
Joseph R. Biden of Delaware the duly elected and lawfully serving president of the United States of America?
He is the president of this country.
Is he the duly elected and
It's the Attorney General of Alabama that he's asking this question to. So here we go.
lawfully serving president of the United States?
He is the president of our country.
Are you answering that omitting the language duly elected and lawfully serving purposefully?
I'm answering the question. He is the president of the United States.
And you have no view as to whether he was duly elected or is lawfully serving?
I'm telling you, he's the president of the United States.
Look at the look on his face. I love the look on this guy's face. It looks like Rand Paul. He looks like Rand Paul to
He
me.
does look a little like Rand Paul.
But it looks like Rand Paul walked into like a Senate Democrat caucus chamber, farted, and left. And this is his look as he's leaving the door, right? Look at this. I love the look on his face.
Why was this guy testifying?
They were asking He probably had a case in front of Ketanji Brown Jackson before, I would guess, because today was like everybody else gets to
Yeah, everyone else gets to say their 5 minutes of whatever.
right.
Masturbatory bullshit.
And I have no idea why this guy, I don't know the context. I just know that Sheldon Whitehouse is like, is Joseph Biden the duly elected, lawfully serving president of the United States? He is the president. Oh, that made me happy. That made me very happy. We can't talk about why it made me happy because YouTube won't even allow jokes about anything on that subject. But I did like just the way he was responding.
I honestly don't even know what I can say or not, because I would think my views would more align with YouTube's views, but I'm not even sure if I can say things. It's very frustrating.
You can't even talk about it. The thing
I read like half the cases, and I read them in some detail, and so I'm like, I just no. How about that? Just no.
Yeah, the cases were not good.
No, they were not good.
Whether there was other merit to any claims became irrelevant, as the cases themselves that became the focus were not solidly based. So, so my answer is always he was elected via the constitutional process. He was, the electors spoke, and their electoral votes were read and counted, and that's that. I think that's the safest answer I can give on YouTube, because we can't delve into the questions about it, no matter what our answers to those questions are. We can't even talk about it. It's wild.
I think some of the problem from the right side of the aisle is some of the language they use, and also you see this problem kind of mirrored on the left in some ways. For example, the left will say defund the police. They may or may not mean that literally, but the right criticizes them for saying it, because literally it's absurd. So the right will say, I'm not even sure I can say what the right would say about it. They would say that Trump blank the election, right? But they may not mean that literally. They might mean that, rules were changed in advance, or other things were done.
Or the Time Magazine article is the one I go to.
Yeah.
Which is a fascinating look at how the election was approached in the media, and with intentionality. And we saw massive evidence
withholding the Hunter Biden story, for example.
Right,
like that wouldn't really qualify as Trump. That the Biden blank the election, but okay.
Right. So and I was going to say the Hunter Biden story being confirmed as true by the New York Times, their deep crack investigative team finally breaks the story.
Break that story
of this laptop 2 years later or whatever. A year and a half later.
I think sometimes, like the left with their defund the police, the right do themselves a disservice with some of their rhetoric, because they wind up in these problems where they may or may not mean what they're saying literally, and it gets confused. Yeah,
we've got the system that we've got now. Oh, there was one more thing that I wanted to show from Twitter. I don't like just doing Twitter stuff on the show, but there was some good stuff.
Also, for the sake of pleasing the YouTube bots, I'd also like to confirm that Joe Biden is in fact the president of the United States.
He is the president of the United States. Did I close my Twitter window? Damn it.
God save us, but that's a whole other set of problems.
Speaking of, so this was funny. Someone shared a meme from 2015 today on Twitter. I don't know if you happen to see this. I did retweet it, but
I think I might know the one you mean.
This killed me. We need Joe Neerman maybe for this meme, but here we go.
This is one I thought you might mean.
What will happen if gay marriage is legalized? So this is mocking opponents of gay marriage. Gay people will get married. Well, what won't happen? A third world war will break out. Various plagues will erupt. Schools will begin teaching kids how to have gay sex. The terrorists will win.
Some of those things might have happened after that. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I always love when someone's tweet goes viral because I always do this. They're like, wow, this is doing numbers. For those interested, here's how to become Catholic.
No, I appreciate that. No, I respect that.
No, I like
respect
that one.
Take advantage of it to promote a cause. I respect that.
But it's usually, here's my Venmo, right? Like,
I respect that too. Whatever. Take the hustle, man.
Listen, here's how you become Catholic.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
I respect
my
that.
goodness.
I mean, if you had something go viral, you wouldn't do that? Like, here's my YouTube channel, check me out, or something?
Well, I mean, I don't do that. I've never had anything go viral anywhere, so I don't know.
Yes, in the hypothetical.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, my YouTube channel's in my description already, so I'd probably just leave it be.
You pimp that shit. You'd absolutely pimp that shit.
Mm.
If not, you can pimp my shit. That's fine.
There you go. I'll be like, yeah, if you like this, check out Uncivil Law on YouTube.
Fine.
Oh, hey, that person follows me. Good job. Cool. Anyway, that was weird. So I could not watch the whole hearings. Oh my God. I could not watch the whole hearings.
You didn't miss that much. I mean, it was just interesting to cover it for the sake of it, but
yeah,
you didn't miss that much.
The one that was interesting to me was Tom Cotton yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He had some interesting questions, and she had annoyingly evasive answers to some of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a particular moment. I don't need to bring up the video, I don't think, but where he kept asking her about statistics involving crime, whether or not we should put more or less people in prison, stuff like that, going back and forth.
I mean, she wouldn't necessarily know that. It's a little bit unfair to her, to be honest.
No, and I was okay. I was thinking he's belaboring these questions. He's already made his point on this. Plus, it's not really her job to do this.
I mean, Lindsey Graham and Durpin got into a whole little war about Guantanamo for some reason. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. She's not responsible for this shit. Or also where
she defended.
I forget whoever it was complaining about the Antiquities Act. It was Lee. Senator Lee was complaining about the Antiquities Act, about how it's so broad, and he's reciting the statute, and it is written broadly. And I'm thinking about, and I even said it on stream, it sounds to me like you wrote a shit law 110 years ago. I'm not sure how that's her problem.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know what you want her to do about it. Fix your shit, Congress.
I think the Gitmo fight is related to her being, she was a public defender for some of the Gitmo detainees, right?
Yes, but personally, I have zero problem with that.
You're right. I don't have any problem. I'm just saying that's where the subject comes up, because
it doesn't
if you're a public defender.
Yeah, she's a public defender working for the federal government. There's these people who the Supreme Court have said have a habeas. She's working on those cases. That's great. She should do her job. And then when she goes over to a private firm, she's an associate. Someone comes in, she's assigned to cases because of her familiarity. Maybe they picked that firm because of her. They knew that she had that work and she'd be working on it. And I'm like, I have no problem with that. Represent your client. Go nuts. I'll criticize the shit out of your judicial decisions. That's fine.
Yeah. And I didn't, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her, especially as a public defender, where it's like you get assigned a case and you take the case and do it. But even as a private attorney, I don't have any problem with the private attorneys who defend people who are going to Gitmo. I mean, they're entitled to their rights, I guess. There's some interesting questions about whether or not they should be entitled to that, and whether or not the Supreme Court.
But those questions are themselves inherently interesting for a defense-minded attorney,
right?
And if they want to fight about those questions, that's fine by me too.
But I mean, we had fights over these questions, and the Supreme Court made the determinations, and the results are like in some cases baffling. Where if you're a U.S. citizen who is caught aiding Al-Qaeda, you get UCMJ treatment in a military tribunal. But if you're a foreign citizen or a foreign national who's caught on a foreign battlefield, brought back to the United States, then you get habeas in civil court. You don't get a military tribunal, which was a weird disparity that happened. And my national security law professor posited that it had a lot to do with the time between those decisions. A lot more to do with that than anything
Like,
else.
I,
But
I mean, this is going back a while, and it won't probably earn me any favors. But Joseph Padilla, he was a U.S. citizen, and I thought he was treated poorly. I didn't really think that he was, he might be a whole bunch of things, but I didn't really feel like he was treated with the appropriate due process.
right, and he's the case where the U.S. citizen gets the military brig and the military tribunal.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's a little bit
it's either
questionable in my mind.
Hamdi or Hamdan was the foreign national. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
Both Hamdi and Hamdan are national security cases involving Al Qaeda, but I just don't remember which one was which.
Yeah.
Because their names are close.
Yes.
And they're both versus Rumsfeld. So, but anyway, no, I think there's lots to criticize in her judicial decisions. I think what Tom Cotton is getting at is that something involving maybe her perspective on whether incarceration is the appropriate thing, right? Whether sentencing reform or whatever is on her agenda, because I think that's the concern with some of her judicial decisions or her sentencing decisions around this child pornography stuff, is because there are First Amendment questions that can be raised about child pornography, for example. And so
it's
if
a
she
little
has
bit harder,
it's harder. But if she has a particular perspective that she believes that this is unjust, how they're treated, how these offenders are treated, maybe she will activism on the bench in regards to that issue.
that seems to be very true of her, because one of the things she said, like on day 2, she even said, like, if the Congress is clear, that's the end of it. I mean, it's like a Scalia answer, right? If the text is clear, we're done. But then she goes on to say that this law is 10 years old and is outmoded, and so I need to deal with that. I'm like, wait a second. The law is no less clear. You're not saying the law is unclear. You're not saying that something's happened in the last 10 years that somehow makes it unclear. You're just saying that things have evolved in 10 years, but Congress was clear. So what is it? Is it that they're clear, you're done, or what's going on? So it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's someone.
I'm sorry.
What?
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, like, I think it was her very first question that she was asked on her judicial philosophy. She gave every possible answer. She gave all the answers. She starts with saying, like, I look at the text, and then I look at the intent behind the text, and then I look at the history of how it came to be, and then I look at how the original public meaning. And also, I tend to take a look at the precedent, and take a look at the policies behind it. And those are some of the reasons I'm like, you just named all the things. That's great. Thanks. That's great. Those are all the possible philosophies. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's she's an interesting candidate. I for me at this point, not that my opinion matters, but I would say no to her, because I don't like her sentencing decisions. I don't like her reasoning that she gave for the sentencing decision. Maybe there's something in those transcripts that would change my mind. I have a hard time believing so, but when she would say that Congress, gave her discretion, Ted Cruz just blew her out of the water on that. It's like, no, Congress didn't give you that. There's the Supreme Court decided that you had discretion, but the law of the bill didn't change. Scalia just said you can't do mandatory ranges. You can't give a mandatory discretionary limit. No, he importantly didn't say that Congress couldn't do mandatory minimum sentences. So they can do that. They just can't say, Judge, you have discretion within A to B.
Well, that isn't quite what they said. And I only know this because I went into some detail on my stream. So if you like, I can talk about it a little bit. All right. So this comes from this case called Booker.
Yeah.
And so what the Supreme Court ruled is that what the Sentencing Act required was for the judge to consider factors that were not proven to the jury. So the judge could consider things that would be offered, for example, by preponderance of the evidence. And these factors could be enhancements. All right. So what the Supreme Court said is that the Sentencing Guidelines Act, by requiring the judge to consider factors not proven at trial by only preponderance of the evidence, violates your right to a jury. Great. I understand this. Then there was a dispute about the resolution. It's like, okay, there was a minority opinion that says, well, let's just look at the factors considered to present to the jury. And then that solves the problem, which it would. But the majority says no, because we don't think Congress would have done that. And they explain their reasoning, and it kind of makes sense about why they think that would be true. So it's like, okay, another way to fix the problem is by just making the whole thing advisory. So the problem is the consideration of evidence. And so it doesn't apply to mandatory minimums, because when you go to the actual statutes, right? So if you're looking up the Armed Career Criminal Act, like it'll just specify in that. And in order to prove that, you have to show it at trial.
You
so
prove the
no
elements, right?
there. So did I explain that adequately?
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is there are factors that judges can consider in making their determinations. However, that since a judge is just considering factors, they're not necessarily proven beyond a reasonable doubt in the
exactly. So they'd be enhancing things that weren't proven to the jury, and that seemed wrong. And I'm okay. I agree with that much. I tend to agree with the minority on the remedy, but I agree with them on the underlying principle.
Yeah, but what got me though is that so Congress had also in their determination of these ranges had factored in many of these characteristics, like many of these things.
Yes.
And they then created a range and said, here is the range, and these are the factors to consider
within that range.
And then she's like, well, I mean, they gave us a range, but then they asked me to consider these factors. So therefore I go down significantly from the range. It's like, no. You're still supposed to stay in the range. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
And it seems like what is up with this, by the way? Prosecutors in all of these cases that I'm seeing, in all these cases that are being cited all over the place, prosecutors themselves are like, well, we're going to just go well below the range on our recommendations. I do not know prosecutors.
I think I could partially answer that question, because according to one of the senators, and I can't tell you who, and this does seem to be right, in 70%.
I got to step away for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I can talk about something else, because I want Nick to hear this information, because he's going to be surprised. What's going on in the comments? I'm sure you guys are criticizing me. Y'all can please remember to love me. I need your love on Uncivil Law. And I will try to answer some of your questions while I'm waiting. As I wait for the chat to catch up. I am fat. I know. I am fat. I understand. I'm not smelly, though. I do shower. I'm a little bit drunk. I'm not that drunk. I just haven't eaten anything. Yeah, lozenge. I'm fine. This is my normal voice. Hell to you, sir. Chat's going by fast.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. I was just answering some chat hate.
Oh, good. Chat hate is great. Great hate. Well, someone said, and I didn't get an answer. I was trying to figure out earlier. They said libertarians cucking to something, and I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm not a fan of this judge personally, based on this issue in particular. I have issues with her, and I've seen some people say, well, she's very qualified. It's like a lot of judges are really qualified, and if you're a district court judge or an appellate court, circuit court judge, like, you're probably qualified to be a Supreme Court judge after a little while. So that, doesn't really impress me in any particular way. Also, I'm not really super impressed by the DC district court in general. So that doesn't really,
I mean, of all the courts of appeal, I mean, DC Court of Appeals is considered the most prestigious, but it's not the one I'd want to be on personally.
Yeah. She's DC district court though, right? She's not.
No, she's Court of Appeal. She was confirmed last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, she was
she was 8 years
year.
before that on DC district.
Yeah. Okay, so she's barely an appeals court judge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, because I didn't think that she had a lot of appellate.
No, I think she's
work
written
under
2
her.
opinions as
Oh.
Court of Appeals.
Yeah. So great. Gross.
But to be fair, she does have a lot more judicial experience than some of the people on the court. Kagan
Yeah.
had no judicial experience.
Roberts too, right?
Roberts, I think, had some, but not very
He was
much.
I know he was a clerk for a really long time.
Yeah.
I think wasn't he Rehnquist's clerk?
Could be.
I mean, which would make sense with Bush appointing him. Because didn't Bush Sr. appoint Rehnquist, or was that Reagan? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I do remember Reagan when I apologize, when Rehnquist was first appointed, he was super conservative, and then he mellowed out a lot.
Yeah, sounds like what Roberts was promised to be. He didn't.
Yeah, well, the
out.
problem with Roberts is he's kind of followed a similar curve. He just didn't start as conservative as Rehnquist, so he's reached lower points faster.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Roberts ever since his weird rationale on Obamacare. That's what bothered me.
You know what's interesting? I thought it was genius.
No, I did not like the we're not here to save you from your decisions thing, because if the law is constitutional, then it's constitutional. If the law is not constitutional, then you literally are there to save people from an unconstitutionally implemented law.
Mike says Uncivil isn't a lawyer, simply search the Texas bar. Well, you're half right. I'm not. You are correct, sir. I'm licensed
you
in
roboted,
Virginia.
but you're not a Texas
currently
lawyer.
studying. I'm currently studying for the Texas bar. I'm going to take the Texas bar. I am not licensed in Texas. I'm licensed in Virginia. And if you go look up my license, try to look up my license in Virginia, you won't find it either, because Virginia at least allows you to keep your license private if you want. So I'm not on the public database. So eat me.
Damn. My license.
But I'm licensed in Virginia. I'm licensed before the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, and I am licensed before the U.S. Supreme Court. So all those things.
I'm just licensed in Minnesota.
Okay, well,
public.
Not as great as me.
Mine's public.
I'm also licensed before the United States Patent and Trademark Office, because I'm a patent lawyer.
You know, I can't respect the Patent and Trademark Office only because their initials also stand for paid time off. And so I feel like they're never working. And so that's, I don't listen to them.
Yeah.
They don't exist to me. They're dead to me.
And for someone who asked why I keep my license private, the reason is because up till now, I've been completely employed. There's no reason I don't want to seek people from the public. I have full-time employment, and I don't need from the public. So I just keep it private. So there's no reason for me to. I'm going to leave my job, so I'll probably keep it private indefinitely at this point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hit the early super chats, and then we can start jumping into this, because you did a video on this Trump case already, right?
I did a very brief one, yes, and I think the case is shit.
Well, it's a RICO case.
Yeah, which tells you it's shit.
Yeah, it's never RICO.
No, it's not RICO. It's never RICO. The biggest problem with RICO is that most district courts require specific pleading, not notice pleading.
Yeah.
So you have to spell that shit out, and it's not there.
Yep.
So you're done.
It's a mess. Okay. Potentially criminal, who, by the way, again, thanks for his grace on Tuesday, as I was ill and unable to do a show, and we are going to reschedule a show. I'm going to talk to him about next week and what his next week's schedule looks like. But he says, never thought I'd see a federal judge view collecting pictures of naked 10-year-olds just like someone else would collect Pokemon cards. Yeah. I mean, her remarks about that too. Oh, did you know that guy reoffended, right? Hawkins, he reoffended.
Do we know that for absolutely sure, or are we just implying that?
Well, his sentence was updated in 2019, and he got re-sentenced to 6 months in a halfway house, which seems like a probation violation.
Which could be for a lot of things, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. I guess he could have offended in some other, or he could have just not remained law abiding. However, the Senate at the confirmation hearing, didn't someone bring up that he reoffended?
They said that, but I think they might have just been pulling it out of their ass, to be honest, at the time. That's the way I interpret it when they said it.
Okay.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I thought they were pulling it out of their ass.
Yeah. The thing that I found interesting is he is now a government contractor.
I don't see that. I don't think you're being fair.
You don't think I'm being fair?
No, I really don't. I've looked at the photos.
Wait, you're saying you don't think that's him?
I don't think it's him.
They graduated from the same high school in the same year.
I don't think the photos look the same.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's Booker T. Washington Charter School, 2013 graduation, same exact name. That's a remarkable. So there would be two Wesley Hawkins in that school, both black.
How do you know they
guys.
both graduated from the same school?
It's on the LinkedIn. I didn't put it on there.
Okay.
I can find it. I've got it.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. I could be wrong. The thing that makes it strange is that, you know, he's working for IT.
IT.
He's
also an
convictor?
intern.
An IT. He someone lent near a computer in IT.
Yeah.
If that's true, I'm losing all faith in this world.
I'm gonna see if I can find the initial.
I'm willing to be proven wrong and just drink the rest of this fucking bottle of bourbon and fuck off.
Here we go. Do I need to catch up with you on drinking?
Put goddamn IV in me if this is true. Fuck this.
Here, I have to find. Here we go. So, let's see.
If he's in IT, if they let him in IT, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Here we go. Share screen.
Fuck.
Here it is. Here's his LinkedIn. Wesley Hawkins, Booker T. Washington High School. And then 2009 to 2013. That's the graduating year from the same high school in Washington, D.C. And I'll get the let me pull up his picture real quick. Because I think when I look at those pictures, I see the same guy just 6 years later or whatever. Where is it?
In 2013 would be roughly right because he was 18 in 2013.
It's exactly right. I checked that was true. Before posting this. Where is it?
I will not fail the Texas bar. I'm doing multi-state practice as we speak, and I'm doing fine. Thank you.
How are you doing? Are you just downloading the practice tests and just running them?
No, I'm doing Adapta Bar. It's one of the bar prep courses, and I've been doing it. I'm hitting about 62% right now, which it needs to be improved, but I feel confident.
When do you take it?
Whatever, July, I think.
Damn. Yeah, you got lots of time.
Yeah, it's lots of time.
The bar is a rough mistress.
You know, I didn't really mind it that much the first time. I might be a strange creature on that one, but I kind of like studying for the bar. I liked it the first time.
Let's see. I screwed up my studying for the bar. Okay, I think the person who had it up there deleted their tweet, so I got to find it. Wesley Hawkins.
I'm neither transgender nor gay, for someone who's asking. I am in fact straight.
Okay, so here's. Can I zoom in? I'll zoom in on his picture here. Okay, so here's his picture, right? And then here's his sex offender picture. I think that's the same guy. He's just shaved. A couple years older. No glasses, obviously.
Well, when I look at it now, I'm more inclined to agree with you. You might
I think
be
when
right.
when you combine that with the fact that they graduated, and I checked, I don't remember where, because it's not listed in the court documents. I think I had to go to an article talking about him that mentioned that he graduated from the Booker T. Washington Charter School in Washington D.C. in 2013. That it's the same guy. He would have graduated just earlier that year before his conviction. So
The fact he's working at IT makes me hate my life.
in IT for a government contract.
IT and analytics. Who hires him to do that job? Teledyne, apparently. Why would you hire him?
Well, it also explains why he's an intern. I mean, because this is 11 years out of high school, right? Or 9 years out of high school. He's only an intern. Since July 2021, so 8 years. But then he worked for Schaefer Friedman Logan Hardware or whatever. I don't know what that is. Probably just a local hardware store. I think it's him. Not to destroy your faith in all of humanity.
You are destroying my faith in all of humanity.
I'm going to join you in a beverage. We're in clown world, y'all. This guy, he goes in, and that's that speaks to the whole reoffense thing as well. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, great, now he'll have the skills and know how to hide it." It's like, "Oh, damn it, shut your mouth." I don't need to think about that. Cheers. Here's my bourbon to start catching up. I had 3 earlier. I was on Critical Drinker stream earlier today.
Excellent. I'd love to join some of these streams that you're on with other people. I mean, you have some really eclectic streams, and I'm about that life.
Yeah.
I'm about that life. I like to get in with some of these other people, just broaden my horizons. I want to be more like you.
It's fun to not always talk about law and legal stuff, right? Talk about movies and shit like that is good stuff.
Yep.
Okay, let me do some more of these super chats. Wolfgang Deo says, "Okay, looks like I remain a bachelor." Yeah, I got your email, man. Unsure, could be sleight of hand. Regardless, asked her if she knows a single match for me. Outsourcing. Oh, careful. If you ever leave your matchmaking in the hands of a woman, you will end up with you get mixed results, we'll say. Mixed results.
I have paid for professional matchmakers and never got anything. Yeah, I spent some serious money. I spent money. I never gotten anywhere.
Well, see, I'd be afraid if I ever asked a woman to hook me up with someone that they would hook me up with that the chick who here, I'll pull it up.
No, I mean, I paid for professional services. I paid someone to run my Tinder account for a while professionally.
How do you do that though? Because don't you have to decide like who's
well, they give me information, I tell them stuff and all the rest of it.
See, this is what would happen to me. I know if I were in a matchmaking situation or whatever, and I had a female choose, it'd be this person.
Not my style.
The plus size model complains seatbelts won't fit on an airplane.
I have a similar problem.
No.
I do.
Really?
Yes.
You don't look that big.
Well, thank you.
See, I'm now I'm rethinking this lady's problem because I've seen you and I didn't think that would be an issue.
No, I hide my weight relatively well.
Yeah. Well, she did not fit and she was very mad about it. So, yeah, but I feel like that's how that would end up. I don't trust women to find suitable mates for men because what they're interested in is vastly different. That's just my opinion.
Fair enough.
But that's me. Okay, so the next one. So yeah, buyer beware on that one, Wolfgang. Mexican Flash says, "Hey Nick, what is the ETA on Mr. Peacock? I missed that Freddie Mercury looking lawyer." I don't know what the ETA is. I got to hang out with him in LA. It was great. We had a very good time. I tried to wingman for him. The woman that we were wingmanning ended up being working for IGN or not. Yeah, IGN, which was kind of funny. And I was like, oh shit. Everyone at work probably hates me. But it was good. It was good times. And then he ended up not going home with her. So that didn't work. But I think the next day might have been more successful. But it was good. It was good. I would love to have him on, but there are reasons he cannot come on this show right now. Viper says, talk to my mom, Zemlia, tonight, who's been going through a lot. She's a fan of the show through me, and I wanted her to hear a message from her son and tell her son, Nikki, and tell her I'm praying that I hope she gets through this okay. So to Zemlia from Nikki, he's praying for you, lady. Hope she get through okay. And that's a son who cares about you right there. So hope everything works out. Toxicity. I figured out how they made your hammer in Elden Ring. That giant schnoz had a nosebleed, and the hammer was formed out of the dried cotton they packed it with to stop the bleed. You know, that's very possible. Bigot. That's a possibility. What I don't know is where people get enough smithing stones to upgrade all these damn weapons. That's what we need. Ola Kyle sent a message, but it has been retracted. It just says message retracted. So sorry about that. And then we've got shit. It just updated. Scott Baines says, will disagree with 95% of Ketanji Brown's decisions, but she has one of the best resumes I've seen for a Supreme Court nominee. Also, think the hearing demonstrates she has a good temperament appropriate for a judge and justice. Joseph Biden could have done worse. I'll agree with the last sentiment. He could have picked worse, right? He could have appointed ACB or not ACB, AOC. Could have appointed AOC or Rashida Tlaib or whatever.
Or pedo guy.
Yeah. You could appoint anyone, really, right? Like there
are no limitations in the Constitution. You could appoint literally anyone. You don't even have to be a citizen. There are no limitations.
If you were president, would you appoint Trump to the Supreme Court?
No. Absolutely
even if it would be funny?
No, he doesn't have the reasoning for it. He doesn't have anything close to the reasoning for it.
That's why it would be funny. Like to burn the system down.
No. I'd appoint you before I appoint Trump.
Oh, thanks. I think I'd be a great Supreme Court justice. I would put this 150-page opinion bullshit to rest. We'd get some brevity back on the court.
I mean, you have the baseline knowledge, right? It's like I could trust you before I trust him.
Yeah, well, I think you'd appoint Trump if you want maximum comedy and to ruin the country like as fast as possible. If you're an accelerationist. So, but no, I think, do you notice when you read like 100-year-old decisions, they're 2 pages. It's like, yeah. Can we get back to that where they're not writing 150 pages on these issues anymore? It's insane.
I do tend to think that, if I had more time, I'd write a shorter letter. I do think that. Yeah.
Michael Walter says, Nick, can I plug a fundraiser for my daughter's nursing school? She is selling flower bulbs, which ship just in time for Mother's Day. The shipment was meant for Cadia, but link sent to your email. Thanks, man. Cadia, the planet broke before its people. Let me find my email window and I'll post it in the chat. If that's where the hell is my? There it is. Hey, there it is. Okay, I'm going to post this link in the chat. It's this giveandgarden.com. It's a fundraiser if you guys want to check it out. This is someone trying to raise money for nursing school. Always good to have some good nurses out there. Although if I ever find out your daughter TikToks as a nurse, I'm going to come and punch you in the teeth personally.
Why?
No nurse TikTok videos while on the job.
Why?
What?
Have a little fun. Have a moment of levity.
No levity. I'm opposed to levity.
If your daughter TikToks, have her call me.
Super Iron Bob says this hearing has proven to me that we need to impeach every federal judge. Kitty Fiddler guards run rampant in a lot of them. Damn. More Unbreaded Havoc says Kurt was about to educate and Nick detailed us. Kurt in 70%.
I totally forgot what I was going to say because I was in the middle of a thought and then I said, because Nick is gone, I wanted to hold it for you because you were going to like hate it. And I totally forgot what I was going to say and it's gone now.
It was you started within 70% of.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Pissed me off.
So I was going to say in 70% of CP cases nationwide and in 80% of CP cases in DC, they go below the guidelines range.
I'm going to appoint Trump as president so we can build the biggest, bestest wall. And I have a long
that
list.
was the information I wanted to share with you.
Thanks.
70% of the time they go below the range. 70% among nationwide for the federal courts.
Any other crime where that happens? I mean, any.
Yeah.
Is there any crime where they're like, you know what? Here's a range. Let's just go below it. I know they're out there in theory, but other than a specifically negotiated plea deal, I've never seen a prosecutor offer to go below the range, like as their.
No, I mean, and I think with that baseline knowledge, now that I just told you that, you understand the DOJ's position a lot better in Hawkins. Like why they recommend 2 years. Now you know the answer. Like that's exactly why they know.
Yeah, they're always going to go below
reality as well as I do. Apparently, they didn't know well enough, but they were in the right ballpark, right?
I mean, that is infuriating to me. It's like I see these as such egregious crimes. I see the recidivism rates being so. There's two things about the recidivism for child offenders is that the damage done to the child is so egregious in the first instance that recidivism is in the same level of egregiousness, right? This isn't a lost possession. And people, you steal like a necklace from someone. You steal a gold necklace from someone and you will go to prison, actual prison for 3 years. You steal the innocence and dignity of a child and then give that to as many other people as you do. And you're going to get 3 months. I mean, 3 months, even 3 years. Like, oh my God. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kurt.
No problem.
Ola Kyle says Intellidyne has an anonymous contact form on their website. I just sent them a message asking why they would hire a pedo. It was very easy to do. I do not condone or endorse that. That's not why I brought it up. My tweet was meant to be comedy because if Judge Jackson had never been nominated, that guy would have just been an anonymous CP consumer working, or hopefully former CP consumer working at this company. Like that was the joke, is that like no one knew at all who this guy was ever, like the vast majority of sex offenders who are out there. But now because of this nomination hearing years later, everybody knows, like New York Times writing articles, who is Wesley Hawkins and stuff. It's like, damn, what a shitty day that would be.
Yep.
That would turn me into an opposition Joe voter every day of the week. If I were that guy, I'd be like, I don't care who's running, anybody but him.
Apparently, half the country's happy with that.
Half the country's happy with what? With Joe Biden?
With not Trump, at least. I mean, that's all they care about, right?
Right. Yeah. So he could be the not Biden guy, the first one. I'm sure he's the first one. Everybody else, no one else is not Biden. Not Biden. You know what I mean? Everybody else is for Biden.
Sure.
Yeah. AD says, have you seen the video of the Portland mayor being trolled at a town council meeting? I have not. Is that the one that everybody's sharing with the guy at the podium talking?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it. Jordan Boning says, hi, I'm an Aussie and it's about 4:30 p.m. and I just finished work. Great to catch a live stream. Hey, Jordan, what's it like living in a fictitious country? Similar to Mordor or somewhere else on Middle Earth. I'm curious to know. Thank you for tuning in, though. I love that you pretend on the time change, and that's cool. Matthew Spriggs says, this creep gets 3 months, 6 years probation and reoffends while working at an arcade. And now as a government IT contractor with just an A+, I can't get squat with an AAS, experience, PC, network, and security certs. What in the F? Well, Matthew Spriggs, you know what you got to do now. You got to download a bunch of child porn. It's just, that's the networking IT path of the future right there. I'm kidding, obviously, in case that wasn't clear. Someone's going to get the wrong fucking idea. And Tina B says, Uncivil, I have a match for you, but you're not bigot. That will leave a girl for her feminine penis. You're not a bigot that will leave a girl for her feminine penis. Wait, what?
Actual women.
That's your requirement? That's your hard line?
Start.
Yeah.
It's a start.
How can you be so hateful?
In so many ways.
I cannot believe you. Speaking of that brings us to one of the stories that I do have to talk about today. I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
Obviously the whole country has heard of the Leah Thomas situation, right? So, swimmer who tied Leah Thomas in 200-yard freestyle says officials cheated her on the podium. Quote, we just want Leah to hold the 5th place trophy. So this chick tied with this chick for 5th place. They only had one 5th place trophy and they gave it to Leah Thomas. And they said that she could hold the 6th place trophy if she wanted, but her trophy would be in the mail.
How's that work? Why? How'd they make that determination? Okay, here's my understanding, and this might be wrong, but my understanding is that 53 men competed in the 400, the same event that Leah Thomas did. So 53 men competed. The 53rd man was 10 seconds faster than Leah.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, Leah is a middling male swimmer.
No, apparently they'd be the 54th male by some margin. This pisses me off. It pisses me off. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's like, and there's apparently a kind of like there's a movie coming out on Daily Wire in March, or apologize, in May, about where Matt Walsh just goes around and asks people, what is a woman? Because no one can answer the fucking question.
What is a woman, Kurt?
XX. What's your next question? See how fucking easy that was? It was so fucking easy. God,
I have the follow-up. What about chromosomal abnormal women who have XYs but are still female?
No.
I'm not talking like this isn't a trick trans question. There is some tiny percent of aberrant chromosomal women that have an XY but are genetically female and biologically female.
Well, I think it might be the other way around, where they're genetically male and present as female. I think it might be the other way around. But for the sake of my definition, fuck them.
What about, well, you know, there are XX males, right? Like Ron Toye, for example.
I'm sorry, XX, no, female.
So Ron Toye, you're telling me is a female.
XX.
If the chromosomes fit, I can't disagree with you. And you gave the same answer. If the
chromosomes fit, you must rule them as male or female.
Right. And it seems simple. right? Like XX or XY. And the thing that bothers me about it,
I mean, I
this
can
is
even
what-
go one further to deal with like the XXY. I can even do one further and just say if you have a Y, you're male. Otherwise, female.
right?
And that
Because the
covers
Y has
that covers 100% of the use cases.
the
If
Y
you
has
have
the
a Y,
dangly.
if you have a Y, you're male. Otherwise, you're female. 100% of the use cases. What's next?
Because they picked the Y because it has its own penis. Right?
In my definition, I don't care if you have a penis or not.
No, but I'm
Just
saying
ask if
that's
you have a Y. Do you have
it
a
was
Y?
just a
Then you're
handy
male.
tool.
Fantastic.
It's the handy tool for picking the letter Y is that the letter Y built in has a penis that it's standing on.
No, it's because it looks like a Y. When you look at it physically, it looks like a Y.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. We're in agreement. We're just approaching it from different directions. Right? Because it's a penis hanging down, which makes it a Y shape. Right? Because you got the creases between the legs and then thing. And then women have an X because and then out. See what I'm you know what I'm saying?
I think I get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It was descriptive and functional. Like they could have picked any letter. It could have been QF or whatever. MF.
But
You got F,
it looks like that physically. Okay, never mind.
No, yes. Yes, I agree with you. Again, we're saying the same thing. I think we're just speaking on different train tracks
Okay.
or whatever. But no, you gave the exact same answer I did. But here's what bothers me is we can define man, woman, male, female, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We can
and
define that.
even if you want to argue my definition is imperfect, even if you want to argue it's imperfect, it's a definition. It's trying, even if it's imperfect. So if you want to say like they're XY females or XX males, and so my definition doesn't quite work, fine. But at least I'm trying to define it. It's like, why can't a fucking Supreme Court justice nominee try? It doesn't have to be perfect. Show me any definition in law like ever that's perfect. Like any of them. They're never perfect. It's one of the things I say on my channel. Like if what you're saying is always or never, it's probably wrong. I say that a lot because there's very, very little in law that's always or never. There's exceptions to almost everything. I don't get it.
But see, I agree. And the thing that bothers me is we can define XX as female and say, this is what this is. Female, woman, that cool. And then you could say, but I believe that I identify more as these masculine characteristics. It's like, do what the fuck you want.
I don't understand why that in and of itself makes you male. That's where it doesn't. That's where I lose the thread, because I think you can be a more masculine presenting woman or more female presenting man. Like Senator Ossoff, for example, from Georgia, is a fucking female presenting male. He's male, but he's a fucking, it's fucking hair and bullshit. He's feminist fuck, but he's male. I'm ashamed to keep him in my gender, but it's what it is. I have to deal with his reality.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. Put a wig on him and call him Shirley.
Look at this fucky ass. Fuck this noise. This apparently is a male. This is an exemplar of male.
I've never heard of this guy.
The reality I have to deal with in my definition. I am cursed to deal with him as male. I have to accept him as male, one of my own. And fuck my life, but that's where I am.
Chat, stop calling him Attorney Tom, you assholes. I didn't. Who's this?
Leave hypotheticals in the subreddit guys.
What's this guy the senator of? Never even heard
Georgia.
of this guy. Georgia. Oh, is he like one of the new ones?
Yes, he's brand new. He's one of those people that was on the margin in the recounts and such.
No, guys, it's not Attorney Tom. It's John Ossoff. It's from his Wikipedia page. Oh my god! I wonder how tall John Ossoff is. I bet I'm taller than this guy.
Go look it up. Maybe it is him. Maybe they're the same height.
Here we go. Let me see. John Ossoff. Damn it. John Ossoff height. Here we go. 5'10". Get wrecked, scrub. Weighed 154 pounds.
That seems about right.
Oh, here we go. Here's a significant other. There you go. So, oh my gosh.
He looks, I swear to God, if you didn't tell me different, no, go back. He looks like he has some sort of disease. If you told me he was on chemo, I'd believe you.
5'10", 154 that's pretty trim.
No, that's very trim.
Very thin. When I graduated college, I was 6'2", 165.
When I graduated high school, I was 185. That's a long time ago. I'm a lot of weight past that.
And you're like 6'2", 6'3", right?
6 flat.
6 flat? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a weird thing. Maybe you can explain this to me. I always see people as taller than me. Adults.
Because you're insecure, because you should be, because you're inferior.
Yes, insecurity is my middle name. No, it's weird. I don't know why. Like because I look at people and I always think of them. Maybe I don't know if I'm like just my immature nature or something, that I think of myself as young. So I see people as older and therefore.
No, I had that same problem, man. I have that same problem, man. I still think I'm in college. I swear to God.
Yeah, me too. Until I like try to get up off the ground, then I'm like, oh God, no.
Until I go to college and everyone looks fucking young as shit. I was like, fuck, was I ever this young? Fuck me.
Yeah.
That's where I break down.
At least you didn't look like this.
If that's what it takes to be a senator, I'll pass.
Would you want to be a senator? I don't know if I would. It seems you have to wear a suit like every day.
I want to be a judge. Not necessarily federal. I mean, I'm open, but I'd like to be a judge. I think it'd be good.
I think if you were a senator, would you wear a suit every day?
I mean,
they all do.
Probably.
Do they have to? Like, I feel like I'd roll in shorts.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Like all the time. Like, hey, what's up, guys? I'd be the best worst senator I could imagine. Okay, back to this thing. God, it's fucking dude.
So much. I can't fucking believe this bullshit, and I can't believe that the NCAA tolerates this bullshit, and I can't believe that I can believe that no one's willing to speak up because they all feel pressure, but like,
well, the one chick did
on bullshit.
The one chick did on Twitter, and she got banned.
No. It's just like Babylon B got banned for appointing the admiral as man of the year.
Gerd Doyle says people associate suits with status. No one would take me seriously. Do I want to be taken seriously if I'm a senator? No. See, that's the thing. I'm going to bring reality wherever I go. That's honestly, and this is something that I try and do, is what you get here on the show with me is what you get pretty much anywhere. That's it. I just try to be me, and I don't need to conform myself to anything else. When I ran my law practice, I would meet people in shorts and a polo very often. And that's just, if you didn't want to hire a lawyer who, like in court, obviously you got to wear a suit. You just have to, because your client's interests are on the line at that point. And that's the job that you take. But if you like demand that your lawyer be sitting around in his office in a suit, then I'm not the guy for you. There's other lawyers, and I tell people that. It's cool. long time ago, I decided I was no longer going to randomly conform to what other people wanted, and I
No shit.
pretty much stuck with that. So Leah Thomas said the same thing. Leah Thomas said, I'm not going to conform. I'm not a man. I'm a woman who keeps my penis out while I take showers in the women's locker room.
I wonder if Leah Thomas, I wonder if he could tell me, and I say deliberately, if he could tell me why he's a woman, can he define woman? Because he says he is one, right? So can he define it? Can he define what woman is? That would be nice. Fuck you. Fuck him.
Yes. It's the fire spitting rage that we need. No, of course not. Because how could he define what a woman is and then claim to be one? Right? Like you have none of the plumbing.
I'm just asking for his definition at this point. So like, because my presumption is he, right? So if he wants to be a woman, like tell me why you should be a woman. Define it for me. What are the elements? What test should I be using? How do you define it? Because he wants to compete in the women's division. Great. What's a woman to you? Just to you. Just tell me what it is to you. If you say, well, I'm a woman to myself, it's like, no, you got to give me something to measure against so I can determine. It can't be reflective.
No, I'm with you. I would like to know too. That's the question pervading NCAA sports in particular right now is, well, what is this? Why are these sports segregated? And then and the reason that the sports are segregated is obvious, right? Because women wouldn't make the team.
No, it can't be that because men and women are the same physically in every possible way.
That's what I keep.
Same in every possible. Well, your wife is a male.
I know. It's very frustrating.
So why are you gay?
I've always been gay.
Hmm.
Why aren't you?
I am Nick.
Maybe I was going to say maybe that's why you're having trouble finding a wife, because
Nick, you're the man for me. Oh yeah.
I'm taken. I'm taken by Mr. Rackets. I'm just saying, maybe you're looking for the wrong criteria. Maybe you need a nice lady with a giant penis.
It could be that could be the answer for my needs.
I don't think so, but it's possible. What a disaster. But yeah, so like they're stuck. They're stuck in this conundrum because the
problem is any definition necessarily excludes. They can't. Any definition excludes. And they can't exclude. So they can't provide a definition. They're stuck. As you say, they can't do it.
Right. So they either have to have men's and women's sports, but have no meaningful exclusion of men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have to just eliminate the gendered sports, and then they will be excluding 99.9% of women.
Right.
Which is funnier.
It is funnier.
They should do that.
It would be so funny if that happened. I agree.
God, what a disaster. Because I think the only thing keeping men out of women's sports is that women don't get paid as much. Right? Like, because if the WNBA, right, like let's say you're 6'7" and your name is Jabron Lames, right? And you're like, I'm a superstar I think he's taller, but I'm a superstar basketball player. And you look and you go, I could be a superstar in the NBA and make, obviously I'll make $20 million a year. And then I could go be a superstar in the WNBA and make $190,000 a year. Well, you're going to pick
and be the best.
But if you could make 10 million in either league, I'd go WNBA. I'd dunk on chicks all day. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh God.
But I am a chick because I said so.
True. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever tried to get into like female attorney groups or whatever. Just be like,
No, I haven't. That'd be fun.
"What's up, ladies?" Walk in with jazz
A
hands. You
woman.
can do it.
Say I'm not.
Uh,
Say why you're excluding me. Define it.
oh, and it'd be so funny to see a bunch of attorneys squirm through that too, like
That'd be fun
normal.
as shit. You know, that's actually sounds
Because
kind of funny. Join a female attorney group and they say you can't join because you're not female. Say, why am I not? That'd
Yeah.
be great.
what do you mean? I've been living my life as a female for some time now. Because you can
I've
say
been
that.
living my life as a female for the last 5 seconds. Because tell me that's not the right standard. Just tell me. I've
That's
been
why I
living
say
my life as a
sometime
female
now.
for 5 seconds. 5 seconds I decided I was female. Is that not? It's not. I have to be longer than that. Oh, what's the minimum time? Define it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, how do you
Do
define
it.
the minimum time? Like what these bigots have never they've never transitioned. They have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
What if they put you up against a test of some Sheila who actually did? Right?
Well, then there's a test. That's the
I
whole
know.
problem. No matter
know,
what
that's-
they do, they can't win. They
That's
can't win
exactly.
within their own frame.
It's like arm wrestling with Neil deGrasse Tyson. You can't
Mhm.
win because even if you beat him in arm wrestling, he bored you with inane facts the entire time.
I kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You can.
He's hot.
Kurt's already practicing to join the lady lawyer group. Farmhouse Feltz says the light sentencing for pedo crimes needs to stop. You cannot rehabilitate these people. They will offend again, but will go further lengths to cover their crimes so they don't get caught. Punishment should be life always. Damn. Some heavy sentencing guidelines there.
Yeah, I won't agree with that. I mean, I won't go as far as she does, but I agree with like the generalized principle that you have to gradiate, like you do for all crimes. It's fundamentally no different. Like we gradiate for murder, we gradiate for sexual assault. So, I agree with that aspect.
So where's the life sentence start on these types of crimes for you? So like, let's say, okay, so I'll say this. I'll say I'm comfortable with Wesley Hawkins' guideline sentence of about 10 years.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that for his type of crime. And then lifetime registration on the registry.
Mm-hmm.
So as a baseline, let's say that. So, okay. So possession and light distribution of some CP 10 years is a baseline.
Mm-hmm.
So where does life sentence start? Like what are we talking about? Like touching? Are we talking about, something worse? Creation?
Well, I think with manufacture, we're getting closer.
Yep. Manufacture for me, life sentence. I'm fine with that. Participation in the manufacture, death sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're closer.
Yeah. Okay, let's get off that unpleasant subject. Gates of Above says, Jesus, Nick, how many Attorney Tom jokes are you aiming for today? Always one more. When appropriate. That's but the chat was doing it though. It wasn't my fault. I didn't say John Ossoff looked like Attorney Tom. The chat did. And I thought that was a disservice to Tom.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Tom. He's bigger than that guy. He's just shorter than me. Okay. What the hell else? Oh, we should. Well, I kind of want to wait on the Trump lawsuit a little bit. Where the fuck is I keep losing my Twitter window. I wanted to talk about Rogan. Okay, so here we go. Twitter. Keep closing this. Rogan. Do you listen to Rogan?
Sometimes.
I can't say I've ever listened to a full episode of Joe Rogan in my life. The only times I ever listened to
I
him
listen to every episode with Pearson.
Oh yeah, Peterson's good, but I still don't listen to Rogan interview Peterson. But I don't have a problem with Rogan. I have long held bitterness towards him over his MMA stuff, but that doesn't mean that I don't like his podcast. I never listen to it. I don't know. A lot of people do. I just never do. So I'm always in the dark on what he's saying. But there's an article in the New York Post, and I agree with him on this point. So I wanted to bring that up. So Joe Rogan slams woke big tech employees as mentally ill. So I was going to play the clip because it's
Okay.
a minute here.
The lunatics are running the asylum to a certain extent because there's a lot of people, the company that she works for now, there's a lot of people that are inside the company that legitimately are mentally ill and they consider themselves activists. And they have to placate them because it's a certain percentage of the population of the people that work for the company. And they're the loudest and they oftentimes don't get work done. And when confronted, they talk about their activism.
Oh, I'm going to mute that before that gets a copy strike. Lunatics. See, he didn't describe them as lunatics who are running the asylum. That's a popular idiom, right? The lunatics are running the asylum. The inmates are running the prison. I don't know if I don't know if that works for me.
No, if I ran a business, I'd just get rid of everyone who's woke.
I would, yeah. Whenever anybody walked out like at Disney,
Fire them all.
I'd hand them a
Fire
1 week
them all.
severance.
Thanks for
Yeah.
telling me who you are. Fire them all.
Yep. Get out.
Fire them all.
So he took aim at woke activists, employees of large Silicon Valley tech firms, calling them mentally ill and lunatics who are running the asylum to a certain extent. I didn't hear the mentally ill part. They didn't have that clipped into the video.
No, I heard it.
Did he?
Yeah,
Shit.
I think so.
Let me play that again.
The lunatics are running the asylum to a certain extent because there's a lot of people, the company that she works for now, there's a lot of people that are inside the company that legitimately are mentally ill.
Oh,
and
okay.
They consider themselves activists. And they
Gotcha. Okay, I missed that part. Yeah. No, I agree. And he made the comments on Spotify talking during an interview with Antonio Garcia Martinez, an ex-engineer at Apple and Facebook, who parted ways with the iPhone maker after employees complained of misogynistic writings in his book. For someone from the outside, we look at it and say, how are those fucking places run? Rogan said. Stand-up comedian then said he had a conversation with a good friend who was in a management position at Google before leaving the firm for another large tech company. It's utter madness.
I'm just doing,
I'm
doing it. If I'm running HR, I'm just doing a big 5 personality inventory. I'm getting people who are conscientious and people who are not woke, and will be great.
Well, they're a cancer on companies, right?
They're a cancer. Fuck them. Why do I want these people in my business? They're wrong culture. Fuck them.
Yeah. What happened to the you go to work thing? Like, well, no, I have to use my voice. No, you're at work. Do your job. Like that's your job, is to just do your job.
I mean, I agree with that, particularly like going back to this Disney thing. If you're walking off on the job, I'm literally paying you. I'm paying you for this time. It's a contract in baseline principles. You're selling me time. I'm providing you money. Now you're walking off the job. So you're in breach of contract from baseline principles. So like fire them all. Fire them all. Hire less woke people.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the answer that we need to come to, especially big companies, big tech companies. And this is what's bothering me now. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I think I tweeted about it too. But there's a Russian chess champion, and he was parroting, basically Russian propaganda about the invasion of Ukraine. Right. And so he's now banned from everything. And it's
unfair.
like, wait, so a Russian national,
I mean, they've
not
gone
allowed.
further than that. They've like banned Russian artists, Russian authors from like 100 years ago. It's like, what's this bullshit?
And to me, it's like, so a Russian national is not allowed to agree with the direction of his country. That to me that's wild. Like, again, I don't have to agree with him. None of that has to be on me, and his position can be stupid and ill-informed or whatever. That doesn't matter. Like, there are a billion stupid and ill-informed positions on social media. His is just one amongst the billions. So why the fuck are we removing people for this? And what concerns me is eventually there will be a global homogeneity to what you're allowed to think on certain subjects. Russia and Ukraine is pretty damn near one of them already. Like if you express contrary opinions to Ukraine, no matter what they're doing, hell, even when the there was a Ukrainian like general or something who basically threatened outright war crimes. He's like, we won't take you as prisoner. We'll kill you. We'll kill everybody. We won't recognize your surrender. You'll die, and we'll be happy doing it. And it's like people are like, yeah, and it's like, well, that's kind of against Geneva.
You have to recognize their surrender.
Yeah. It's kind of it's like there are rules here, and believe me, when you're fighting a nuclear power, you want the rules, and when you're fighting Russia, you want the rules as much as possible, because I don't really trust Russia at all. But it's not like I trust Ukraine that much either. Right? Am I crazy? Is there some reason I should trust Ukraine other than Russia invaded them?
They're a country worthy of some skepticism. But that being said, I think they're better than the alternative.
Right. Like
whatever problems I might have with Ukraine, it's not as great as Russia. So I think having them as an independent power is worthy of recognition.
Yeah. It's just interesting to me because it's like, so I don't trust Ukraine generally. Then Russia invades Ukraine. Now I'm supposed to trust them implicitly on everything. Like that's a step for me. That's a step too far. Not saying I support Russia.
I agree.
I don't really fucking care.
Why would you trust them implicitly? That's a little bit much.
That's what people want, right? Like
people are fucking retarded.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing
because they just swing from one equilibrium to the other. They don't fucking think. They don't think about the future. They don't try to forecast things at all. It's just Russia's bad, Ukraine's good. No, it's a little bit fucking more complicated. You got to think about what's next and what's after that, or at least try. Right? Trying to forecast the future is rough as shit, but you got to try. Like, what happens next? What happens after that?
Yeah.
Right? And
is
so
the beard new?
Well, I shaved recently, and I probably need to shave again. To be honest,
I kind of like
sometimes
it.
I grow it out.
I was just saying, I kind of like it. I usually see you clean shaven.
Cool.
I think. Anyway, no, the Zelensky, in Ukraine thing that again, it seems by merit of their being invaded, I'm supposed to now take everything as gospel. Zelensky's being weird with all of his appearances where he's like mad that the world isn't doing enough for him, which I guess is his job.
I can appreciate that from his position.
Yeah. I don't know.
I try to put myself in that position. And if I were him, I'd probably be saying that too. So that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand the US's position, because if we go directly toe to toe with Russia, we face some real problems rapidly.
Yeah, I don't want to fight with Russia at all, frankly.
Yeah. I understand it from Zelensky's point of view. I get it. You don't get it?
I mean, I don't know if I like the approach so much. It seems whiny.
Yeah, I don't know. If my country's being invaded, I might be a bit whiny too.
Maybe you could try being nice.
Fuck the rest of the world. Fuck you guys and get your asses over here. Is what I'll be saying. Look at these guys invading me. Fuck you. Didn't we say this is a violation of international law? Fuck.
Just give me some planes. Okay, do you think we'll have a border change in our lifetime? Do you think like parts of Ukraine will go to being Russia? Because the last border change was what, the 90s, the major one with Bosnia being split up.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
It's weird to think of because we don't like. I feel like borders used to change more often.
Crimea is where it's really at, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the biggest point of dispute is Crimea, because it gives territorial waters that both Russia and Ukraine want for oil, and that's the big dispute. So, I mean, that's the first thing Russia's been in control of Crimea for quite a while, but I mean, that aspect is still in the air.
Right. So Crimea is 2014. People are saying, But
Yeah,
so, but
right.
has that actually been recognized as changing over to Russia?
No.
See, that's what I mean. Like, the last recognized border change that I remember is
Yeah, I
the
mean they've been in
splitting up
effective
of,
control for the last 8 years, but yeah.
yeah. But like when they changed the maps, Bosnia, Herzegovina, or whatever, in Serbia, Kosovo, whatever, all of that shit. That was the 90s. I remember that. And I think that was the 90s. But I don't. We don't have a lot of those anymore because we've set up like so many rules and we haven't had major power plays. But like when you think about how the map was redone for World War II or following World War II, right? You got East and West Germany, and then eventually East and West Germany are, brought back together. You got Czechoslovakia getting
Israel.
divided up. Israel being created. All of that stuff it's weird, but we used to have a lot of it and now we don't so much. I think we just keep renaming Burma. I mean, but it's still the same place.
Yeah.
What's the name of Burma now? Is it Myanmar or is it Burma or is it something else?
You got me.
Well, you're going to fail the bar if you can't figure that one out. That's on the multi-state, I'm pretty sure. It just says, you get in there to take it, and it just says, is it Burma? A, yes. B, I don't know. C, fuck you. Ben Samuel
Burma is
says,
now known as Blackacre.
yes, there you go.
Inside joke.
Yes, that's a very inside law school joke. You don't want to know though what I'm fucking up the joke. What Rick Perry's family called Blackacre. This joke should be obvious.
I'm not getting there.
Really?
I'm sorry. Maybe
I can't even say on YouTube what the joke is.
Sorry.
You know what his family ranch was called, right?
I could guess from context. Am I close?
It started with an N.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah. So that would be the joke, is that Rick Perry's family would call Blackacre N acre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
times.
But very
dumb. Fuck
what?
That. What? Calling your ranch N acre?
It was called that for like 100 years or whatever.
Well, maybe change it at some point, man.
They did.
Okay.
They did, right?
Binger acre. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bigger. Rick Perry's ranch. Hold on. I'll find out the history of the naming of it. Okay, Rick Perry's family hunting camp, still known to many by old racially charged name. He began hosting West Texas hunting camp. Please known by the name printed in block letters across a large flat rock standing upright at its gated entrance.
It's a little bit much.
N-word head, it read. Binger head. It read, ranchers who once grazed the cattle on the 1,070 acre parcel in the Clear Fork of the Brazos River called it that name well before Perry and his father Ray began hunting there in the early 80s. There's no definitive account of when the rock first appeared on the property. Let's see. Did not change for years after it became associated with Rick Perry. Oh, damn. Some locals still call it that. But they did eventually change it. Okay. So
I figure I got about 15 minutes before I'm going to crash hard. So if you want to cover something else, let me know.
Well, we should talk about the Trump. I mean, you kind of talked about the Trump lawsuit.
Yeah, no, it's a total non-starter because of the RICO thing.
Okay, so let's go through without. We don't have to go into the details, but let's explain why that's a non-starter. So a RICO case under federal rules, under the statute, requires specific pleading. Normally, when you're filing a federal lawsuit, you need merely notice pleading. Notice pleading says that the other party just has to be given adequate notice of what the issues are so that they can prepare a defense on those issues. So you say, I'm suing you for sexual assault on, basically on this. Actually, I don't even know if you need a particular date at that point, but some sort of pleading
some
them
sort
on
of
notice.
minimal context. It doesn't have to be much, but something very minimal. But
Right.
with specific pleading, you have to
Yeah.
basically show who, what, when, where, why. So with like RICO or fraud, by the way, would be another context where specific pleading is needed. You have to show who did what when with very specificity, and there's nothing like that here. Also, half
Yeah.
their causes of action, I don't think, have a private right of suit. So there's that.
Yeah, and with RICO cases in particular, conspiracy cases, fraud cases, the problem with specific pleading is that it's normally damn near impossible to have the details to put specifically the nature of a conspiracy, the nature of this secret agreement is that it is secret. So there's a case that runs on this. It's Twombly, right, versus Bell,
Mhm.
and this is not specific pleading in general, but this is just federal pleading requirements generally need to be based on facts. But part of the issue in Twombly was he was accusing Ma Bell, the telephone borderline monopoly that existed. He was accusing them of unfair anti-competitive practices. And when he could not produce any factual statements at all, because he's like, well, how the hell am I supposed to prove when a phone call occurred between these people when they're doing it in secret? And his argument in the case was essentially that it's obvious that they're doing this because it was obvious.
Res ipsa
And they,
loquitur, right?
yeah, right. The thing speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And it did. And everybody knew that Ma Bell was engaged in monopolistic practices as a telephone provider, and that they chose markets and they chose not to compete in other markets. The evidence was plain on its face, but the court said that this isn't enough. Specific pleading is similar, or you face similar challenges to that, but worse in specific pleading, because he just had to allege that a phone call occurred between two people, and that would have been probably sufficient for notice pleading.
Yeah.
He just never knew who the other
specific
person
pleading. You
was.
have to say when.
Right.
You say when the call. Yeah. Very specific. So, like in criminal RICO, you have the FBI, and they provide you all the details, right?
Right,
But
because
civil RICO, like, good fucking luck.
Yeah, because the
You have a
FBI
problem.
got their Title III warrant, and they put a wiretap on, and they've gathered evidence for months or years about this stuff, and they can pinpoint phone calls. You can't, because you're just a person. So you're saying that is lacking in this lawsuit, that there is no there's not sufficient facts being alleged.
They got the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, right? They got the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance
The FBI
Court.
does, yeah.
Yeah, they got all that shit. They can.
But you only need that if
warrants.
it's a foreign entity, right? If it's local, it's just a Title III warrant, which anybody can get from any magistrate.
The way they define foreign, as I'm sure you know, is fairly broad.
Yeah, well,
was it three levels of separation these days?
It's two now.
It's only two, so it's 85% of the United States.
I think it's down to the 60s.
Oh, okay. I feel a lot more secure now. That's
right.
good news.
It's all of us.
Somebody who knows somebody.
It's literally everybody online. It's
Pretty
just
much.
like some appellations or whatever are left out.
Yeah. Okay, that's good news.
But you're saying that when you looked over the Trump documents, you don't think that they've got sufficient pleading for it?
No, nothing close to in my mind. Nothing close. They allege broad conspiracies between a whole bunch of people, and they try to say there's an organization in fact between these people that been going on since 2015, and there's nothing specific to be able to make that allegations. They don't have meetings, they don't have phone calls, they don't have emails, they've got nothing.
And the problem is
allegations.
There is some level of civil conspiracy between at least Hillary Clinton and Christopher Steele, right? Like, that seems obvious, but pleading the facts around it is difficult.
Within the context of RICO, you're gonna have a fucking nightmare. It can't be done. It can't be done.
Right.
That's why Ken White, who is more left than Mao, but he's not wrong, says it's never RICO. I mean, he might be a leftist fuck, but it's never RICO. You can't get there because you can't fucking prove what you need to prove in the plea. You can't get to discovery. You
You'd have
basically
to
have
flip
to have
someone.
everything from discovery before you ever start. That's how
Which is
fucked
why-
up it is.
Which is why I hate anti-SLAPP.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's why I hate anti-SLAPP.
Okay, well, fuck you. And I like the anti-SLAPP. How about that?
You can like it all you want. I hate it.
Okay.
I think
All right.
I think it puts an undue burden on plaintiffs. I get what they're trying to do, and I don't think it accomplishes the goal.
I'm open to that argument. If there's a better way to accomplish the goal, I'm all about that.
Well, right now, so if the goal is to more judicially and efficiently handle frivolous claims, right?
Mhm.
I think and more cost effectively, I think eliminating anti-SLAPP would actually accomplish that goal better than having anti-SLAPP does. Take that.
One of the nice things about anti-SLAPP is, though, it provides attorney's fees.
Yeah, but don't we already have the option for attorney's fees on any motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim, right? Like that it's not mandatory, but it exists.
I don't know. I tend to prefer more free speech than not, and so I think providing a special protection for free speech makes sense in principle.
Yeah, I don't think it accomplishes it. I think it. I think, especially in the context of New York Times versus Sullivan, I think anti-SLAPPs create an almost impossible bar. They shouldn't. It's probably not anti-SLAPPs that I hate. I think I hate implementation of it by judges most, particularly ones named Judge Chupp.
Well, maybe.
Speaking of which, the Second Court of Appeals, by the time I started the show, had not actually issued rulings for the day.
Have they issued rulings now?
No.
Do we have a brand new case to discuss where I could discuss whether or not my predictions were right or not?
They have not issued rulings for today.
Okay, I was really looking forward to that because I'm still waiting to find out if I was right or not.
An anti-SLAPP, sorry to the chat. I forget that there are probably a lot of viewers who are not here for the Vic saga, but an anti-SLAPP statute is one that SLAPP is an acronym, SLAPP, Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. So the idea is someone is participating in public discourse. I don't like what they're doing, so I sue them to shut them down. Okay. And so the idea is that there's a statute that says we don't want these frivolous lawsuits just trying to silence free speech on public discourse. Therefore, we will provide an early dismissal and a remedy, and we'll shift the burden more on the plaintiff than would otherwise be there to prove out the case, not prove out the case fully, but provide more evidence than would otherwise be necessary at the start, before you get to discovery, before you have a judge, or before you have a jury or anything like that. So a pre-trial motion. In my opinion, the way judges implement anti-SLAPPs is typically unfounded, and it creates in some jurisdictions an impassable bar where the provision of the information required becomes impossible. And if you're a person who is being defamed, who's having people lie about you, and you're having your entire life destroyed, you may have a lawsuit there, and an anti-SLAPP may shut it down, even though the evidence appears to be obvious to me. But that's when a judge requires you to prove, for example, knowledge of the falsity, which you can infer knowledge of the falsity, but to provide like an actual piece of evidence would require you to have like a tweet or something where they say, haha, I know I'm lying and I'm saying this anyway, which no one ever does that when they're lying about someone.
Some people do that because some people are fucking stupid as shit. But
right.
Yeah, I get your point.
So that's the issue that I have with it. And it really, I think it stems to New York Times versus Sullivan, which says that some people have less protection from speech than others. because of their popular status. But in today's day and age, it's not the same as when New York Times was passed.
No,
Now everybody has
I
access.
tend to agree with that much, because what a public figure is might need to be reevaluated in light of minor circumstances.
I think public figures should only involve government agents or people acting as quasi-government agents or quasi-state actors. Personally, I don't think celebrity anymore.
You might be right. I haven't really thought it all the way through, but
Yeah.
I think there's room to change that aspect.
Yeah. And that's where my issues stem from is like that for some, and again, this is part bitterness over the Vic thing, but in general, like I look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard coming up,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like, okay, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are on equal footing for power wise, right? They're both
Yeah, fair enough.
high profile celebrities. So why should Johnny Depp be held to some standard where Amber Heard can say, who has the whole idea behind New York Times versus Sullivan was that there's potentially a power disparity and they're making up for it between a public person and
I didn't
and a
really get
private
that
person.
particular aspect from New York Times, but
You didn't
okay.
get that
the power disparity aspect. I didn't quite get that aspect.
So there's a government official who has the ability to, because New York Times versus Sullivan is, they're talking about a government official, right?
Sure, yes. Yeah, Sullivan was a government official, yeah.
Yeah. And so as part of that is their, I guess their, well, no, okay. New York Times versus Sullivan is, I guess it's the expansions on New York Times versus Sullivan that moved it from public official to public person.
Okay,
Which I
maybe
don't
that's
know
the
which
problem.
cases those are.
Yeah, I don't know.
But where they go from government person to celebrity, for example, because the idea is that a celebrity has a public platform, they have access to mass media, they can defend themselves from these allegations, and so
Okay.
therefore they get more, or they get more scrutiny or whatever. Whereas a private person can't just go on to E! News and say, no, this is all ridiculous, right? Like they can't do that. But Johnny Depp could hypothetically do that. He could
Except
get
for
in
the
there.
fact that, believe all women, yeah, but yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is now, though, that doesn't exist in the same way that it existed in 1975 because everybody has access to mass media.
Mm. No, I think there's room to reevaluate some of the aspects that you're talking about in light of minor circumstances, to change the factual posture. So I don't know how it would be modified, but I'm open. So I think you make good points.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say on that. Real quick, Bavarian Viking says the problem is HR and marketing is how they get into the business. HR and marketing is how they get into the business. So that's the problem. Yeah, I get you.
They're right. They're absolutely right about that too. They always seem to infect HR and marketing first. Yeah, you're right as could be.
Gates of Above says, and to add to Nick, they keep saying Ukraine is winning and holding them off as farmers, but also, by the way, they need planes, weapons, food, and nukes, but they are beating Russia. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't know how the war is going at all because I don't feel like I can trust the reports coming out. Because on one hand, I do see, I saw Russia has lost X% of their invasion force already. And it was like, okay, like have they, but are they still winning or are they losing? And if they're losing, like how is Ukraine winning? Because I also see Ukraine being in shambles and shelling.
Ukraine's getting torn apart, but Ukraine does seem to be holding its own pretty well comparatively. They've got 1/10 of the military and seem to be doing fairly well, all things considered, from what I can tell.
Yeah, well, in the trick, as long as you don't have some jackass from Reddit posting locations of soldiers, that's the advantage of being a defending force is you can actually, huddle down and if you have, especially if you have flexible leadership, hetero-flexible leadership, even you can spread your forces out and basically run an insurgency almost.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite an insurgency because you're defending your own country, but a guerrilla tactics, urban guerrilla warfare, and it's much harder to.
Russia has lost more troops than America lost in all of Afghanistan.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And it's a
Uh,
much longer war, obviously.
Amateur Ant says Ukraine tried playing both sides and Putin said enough. This is pretty much no different than the U.S. going into Iraq. I side with Russia because I'm sick of Western countries being hypocrites, especially after all the COVID BS. So there you go. There you go. Good thing to know, Amateur Ant, you'll be canceled from literally everything for having that opinion. You're not allowed to have that. So get banned, motherfucker. Okay. I mean, I guess that's the main topics I wanted to cover with you. In a few minutes,
I'm
I'll
going to
have
hold on
do-
5 more minutes so that we get past 2 hours so I can read the Daily Unbreaded.
Oh, good. Yes. I'm so happy. I was going to say, I'm going to do the Unbreaded, but I got to wait 5 more minutes.
Yeah, no, I'll hold on. I've been looking at the clock.
Okay. Are you going to read it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
Do my
Super
best.
Iron Bob says, this is the first war in a modern country with modern nations. Why do we have any expectations of what is doing well or poorly? And that's the interesting thing. I've been talking about for a while, long before I was on YouTube, back when people were talking about an American Civil War or just World War III or whatever. The question was always, what will these wars look like? Because they won't look like World War II.
I mean, World War One didn't look like World War Two,
and World War One didn't look like the previous war, the previous major war either.
Yeah.
Because when the cavalry showed up in World War One, it was a massacre because machine guns existed at that point.
Trench warfare.
And it was terrifying. Like and
the shotgun, surprisingly huge player in World War One.
Oh, because you get in a trench
clearer. Yeah.
And then tanks, these big rumbling monstrosities that never existed before. No one had seen anything like it. And then suddenly these things
even aircraft for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so it's like,
World War I.
what does the next conflict look like? What does modern conflict look like? We saw some of it in Iraq and Afghanistan, but it's going to keep changing and it will get more urbanized and it will get, I think, way more terrifying. But we won't see, I don't think we'll see the same casualty numbers though, because we won't have giant battle lines of 10,000 troops marching into machine gun fire like we had. I mean, you had these grist mills in World War I where the English were just, over the trenches and into the death traps constantly. And soldiers won't fight that way anymore. That's one of the big things. Because would you? Like
not particularly, no.
They're like, Group A, go over the wall. They all get killed immediately. It's like, Group B, you're up. Fuck you. I'm not going over the damn wall. But they did. They did back then. They had a different sort of sense of obligation, I think, than exists now. I don't know. I would be like, can we work on an alternative solution? I don't like this one. I'd be a bad soldier. In general, I have a problem with authority.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, you're saying okay. You're saying no to me. I thought you were saying no to jumping over the trench line.
That too.
Oh, okay, cool. Bogey 34 says Mitch McCuckle publicly said no vote on KBJ. Whoa.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he's going to vote no, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Won't surprise anyone. I still think the only thing I'm wondering about, I'm putting the over under at 54. 54 under or 54 even or greater. So which side of the bet do you want? Do you want under 54 or equal to or greater?
What's the requirement? Is 54 the required votes?
Well, no 50 is the required.
Oh, they just have to pass it by a simple majority?
Yeah, sure. I mean, they confirmed the Secretary of Education a while back by 51 to 50.
But this is
the nomination process is no different for the Supreme Court. It's the same exact process. I can't see any reason why they can't confirm it with a tie vote with Kamala breaking it. Lawrence Tribe has tried to argue against it. I don't find it persuasive.
Well, who decides?
Yeah, well, it's true too. Yeah, exactly.
I say over 54.
I think that's very likely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think over 54 is likely. I don't think enough Republicans will hold out.
No. Yeah.
which is a shame. I would like to see them block a nominee because, you know, well, the only hope is that this is an election year and the Republicans can take back the Senate.
I think the odds favor the Republicans in the Senate and the House. I mean,
So
the Republicans did surprisingly well in the House the last time around. They were predicting a blowout, and what's the margin? 4 votes right now?
Yeah, it's 3 or 4. It's really low. Really low.
I mean, it was unbelievable. So if the Republicans don't take the Senate and the House, I'll consider them cucks.
Democrats are currently missing a senator also. Yeah,
From the stroke. Yes, it's true.
So if the Republicans, they got to get people like Romney involved, though, and that's almost it's
Romney's
impossible.
already come out in favor of it.
Yeah, he's come out of a lot of things. He would, that's but it's like if they could hold, they could then force Joe to pick a moderate. Like they could force him to pick appoint a moderate candidate that they would then approve, right? Like they know that Joe wouldn't appoint a conservative, but they could force a more moderate candidate. I don't know.
Not a chance in this world. There's no chance in this world, in my view. There's no way.
I don't think so either.
Happen.
I still think over, but
no, there's no way. I mean, there's no way you're getting under 50 votes. I don't see it happening.
But it'd be
not
so
a chance. Anything else is a pipe dream. If Justice Thomas dies, we're all going to be fucked.
Jason Barnett says, "Look at the losers crying because the Democrats won the Senate. They won the Senate a long time ago.
Yeah,
crying about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh if Republicans take the Senate back because it's
they're
going to be a
split right now. I mean, it'd be hard pressed for them not to.
Actually, that's my big problem, is that there is not actually a Democrat majority in the Senate. There's a Republican plurality in the Senate.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, there's 50, but no, it's 50-48. There are two independents.
You know how the caucusing works, so
I don't care how the caucusing works. You've got 50 Republicans and 48 Democrats. I think that they're out. That to me, I would be like, nah, fuck you. Eat shit. You don't have a majority. How would you have a majority? You got nothing on me. This is why I'd make a bad senator.
You make
a great senator.
Yeah. I'll let you.
Okay. I think it's about that time. Let me get this thing pulled up.
Okay. I mean, let's go.
You know the code words.
Yes.
I assume.
Yes, I do.
And they're recommended code words. But I recommend them to everybody because they will get clipped if not used.
Yeah.
Which is lame. Okay, here we go, guys. We've got 536. Oh, is this going to be in the range or is this just out of it? I'm so jealous of you. Okay. Here we go. Let's play the Unbreaded. All right. So here we go with our daily Unbreaded. As we get down to like 67, I'll start scrolling up.
Sure.
So you can see.
Hip hop is irrelevant. Just make banger music. Rap is irrelevant. Just make banger music. Banger music is better than all things. Anyone who imitates it at least better belong to the banger tribe. In an attempt to make myself a genius, more profound than any other, I once self-pleased myself to music and mathematical theorems. Then I realized that it was all racist, and the most spectacular breakthrough occurred. Math is completely racist and anti-banger. So was phonetics and philosophy of groups. So is the Roman alphabet. No shit. And the Gregorian calendar.
Fuck that calendar.
There is no reason for bingers to study physics if they aren't creating physics exclusively for bingers to use in their daily lives for the common bingers, for the everyday binger, to be liberated from Jewish and German physics. Sandra pretended to be my soulmate and bounced. Even though I moved to her backyard of Boulder, Colorado, she never commuted. She could have been my John Benet Ramsey. Why isn't my mother dead yet? Don't forget you're already contributing value to the world, even if your life isn't valued by the white man. The only way to get more honest was to mitigate further into myself, which explains the trajectory of the books in this anthology. I wanted the doucheland tundra, not the Caribbean treasure, or thy, what are we using here?
Blinky.
Blinky infestation. Duke is a terrible school because it pretends that athletics can be paired with priorities of learning. Preach it. Basketball, baseball, soccer, and football are basically hedonistic gifts to the belligerent ape in us all.
Ape.
I feel it. Subhuman sacrifices to the dignity and virtue that a college should offer society. Sports makes everyone dumb. Sports are games for distracted toddlers to drool over, putting a key in a basket. Why not finance a huge AIDS infestation group party and give the kids a reason to be tired, on steroids, and distracted by the glorification of the flesh over the mind?
Preach.
Racial integration is assumed to be a good thing. But do you really want it to happen in the form of basketball programs where your daughter is surrounded by brute and oxen? Or do you want her dignity and innocence to be reserved by her by not having to give BJs to be fit in a college? Do you want your daughter to be passed around by the tribes of Israel hedonism and mixed intentions? Do you want your daughter to be defeated by the forces of nature? Do you want your daughter to be declothed and partied by frats and basketball teams? Do you want your daughter to learn subjects that are related to the degree you are paying? Colleges are poison to humanity. I would never marry a woman who's been to Duke. Cornell has much better women. The college of culture is destroyed by athletics and frats. The entire personality of children it turns into adults is polluted by the glorification of the subhuman attributes. Bingers don't have their own branch of physics. The bikes do. Bingers don't have their own school of economics. The bikes do. Bingers don't have their own school of anything really, except music that is unfortunately polluted by infiltrators who probably don't want to be there, but are ruining it for bingers nonetheless. If a binger has a desire for a German woman in his blood, I mean shit, my grandfather killed those Nazis to steal my grandmother and you.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. This has been this Unbreaded. That was a phenomenal page. There's like so much truth in it too. It's terrible. That's why you gotta love this book, because it's like you're like, God, this guy's crazy, but do you really want your daughter stripped and partied by frats and basketball teams? I don't know. Not really. Not at all. Holy shit.
Well, I have to say that was a nice little cap to my evening. So, with your permission, I will depart.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. It's really been a pleasure. He doesn't even say goodbye. This man he just up and walks out. He's like, I'm done. I got nothing else to say. No goodbyes. We're just out. Unbreaded. Unbreaded. Oh man, I love this page. I think it was phenomenal. Gosh, he missed the repeating pages by about 10. 10 or 15. Wait, about 15 15 pages. He missed the repeating pages. I'm so jealous. What a solid pull that he had there. Whew. Whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. What else is going on here? I think I got to double check. I think I have an interview tomorrow for the show. Is that? Oh shit. Oh no, I don't. I don't have one. Okay. I might get one, but I don't have one right now. I thought I had scheduled one, but I did not. So just ignore everything I just said. You want me to do a page? When is Drex? I don't know. We're at a time of year that is really, really difficult. So Drex comes out on the weekends with his kid, but his kid has some activities going on right now that they don't have at other parts of the school year. So they're in an activity, and he talked about it, but it's not my place to talk about. But yeah, so it depends on, one, when he's got time, and two, when his kid is available at a reasonable time to actually get out here and make hanging out and driving worthwhile. So I'll do an unbreaded page. 233. And I'm doing this because I missed a show earlier in the week. So this is for you guys, a special extra page just for you. Just for you. I hope you're ready. Should I play the intro again? I feel like I should.
Unbreaded! Do you love black people?
Yes, Jesse. Yes, I do. Okay. Gotta stretch. Gotta get warmed up. For this. Oh shit. Got rid of this window, which I didn't want to do. All right, here we go. Satisfaction beyond what can be comprehended, beyond what can be expressed. Pleasure in unlimited ways. Just by pleasing him, they are made infinitely well and happy. They seek to please him like ice cream to a starving man who has never experienced anything so delicious, like candy to a baby. Unlimited pleasure. They seek to be him, everything in a perfect experience, a treat across every sense, across everything that can be experienced. They seek to be him more than a distraction, pure satisfaction. They seek to be him nourishment. They seek to pleasure and gratification, relief, enjoyment, and everything else. Everything he's ever asked for, everything he's ever wanted, all in one experience. Dry ice cream and wet ice cream at the same time. They seek to satisfy every sense that he has. They seek to give Matt Harris a telepathic description of how much and how well he is fucking them while they're fucking. They seek to give him magical orgasms that span beyond his body. They seek to suck the Matt Harris's dick so well that he feels it in his future and his past, that he feels it across every conceivable part and aspect of himself. They seek to give him pleasure and submission. They seek to give him complete dominance. They seek to submit to him and him only. They seek to pray to him like virgins dying, tied down in a tomb, praying to the greatest God that can be, praying to him with every kiss and touch, praying to Matt Harris through everything, subjugating all others on the divinity and dominance of Matt Harris. Bingers feel more prepared to address how whites discriminate and oppress them than Jews and Asians try to fuck their shit up, and this must be exterminated. Cosmopolitan lies no cosmopolitanism, lies to bingers and says to pretend we are all friends. Uncle Tommy Me acts like we need to bow and say that racial differences are all ideological. The Tommy acts like we don't know who we are already. The Tommy isn't talking to us when he talks about us. Bingers should know that a song can say, run, Binger, Binger, run back to where you came, get back, Binger, to run away, without using all of those words or by hiding those words in a context like someone else was saying it besides the speaker. If I opened a bar with come on, sing along, kids, I might follow that up with words that I want to brainwash the kids. It distracts like it's the kid's song or something else, someone else saying it, even though the singer is still saying it to the audience or someone in the audience. A binger might not want someone for himself as a personal preference, but not care if other groups do it or want it for themselves. If Puerto Ricans want to do certain things like experiment with their gender identity or marriage practices, that's good to them. They have no right to be wrong and proud of being disgusting. That doesn't mean a binger actually believes that bingers should be doing that. Overcoming fate. Burn down Ms. B's. Tell God to die the way so I can be. Tell God to extinct the way so I can be free. Tell God to suicide the way, and all men to cut out their tongues and eyes and ears. Hear nothing ever again. Speak to me never, not even a word or a prayer. Never look or watch me again. Never message me, never breathe again, hair loss of the spirit, never eat again, enjoy your last rest. Lose all faith and obliterate to nothingness. Tell all men to force lava down into their blood and to replace the unworthy bile.
Unbreaded.
So there you go, guys. That was 2 fantastic pages of Unbreaded. 2 fantastic pages of Unbreaded. And you know, sometimes you gotta bow to the truth. You gotta get there. Okay. So that was great. We had Kurt on for the topics tonight. He got to do the Unbreaded. There are some Rumble chats, some Odyssey chats, and YouTube chats left to address, which I will do. I think we covered all the topics pretty well. I mean, Rogan just said what we're all thinking. There's a subsection of big tech employees that are cancer upon the fucking earth. And we need to find a way to deal with them, because the law says we can't just kill them. Although they need to be careful, because if they keep doing this, if they keep up this life ruination shit, if they keep up this unpersoning shit, someone is going to kill somebody. It's going to happen. If we keep this shit up, there will be bodies starting to stack, because people, when they have their lives, their families, their careers, their homes taken from them, when they become unable to enter society because some random woman decided they looked at them the wrong way at a bagel shop or something, when that happens enough and to the wrong person and to the extreme that it's already been happening, but all of those things magically combine to one guy who was stable, working a job, and then he runs in some hard times, and then this shit happens, and then his hard times get incalculably difficult. Bodies will fall. And everybody will be mad at the guy. Well, I don't know if it'll be a guy. Last time, right? It was it was the woman who went to YouTube and shot up the place. I mean, thank God that it was someone who didn't have any aim. But if you keep up with this shit, if you keep canceling people from life, they're going to start ending lives. And I don't see how people don't understand that. how they don't realize that if you take someone's livelihood, you take away a piece of who they are. They don't care though, because they believe that they're immortal. They're like a teenager, right? There are no consequences for me. I can do whatever I want. You can until someone disagrees with you. And if they disagree with you enough and they're desperate enough, doesn't matter how many tweets you make. You're not going to make any more. AJ, Nassim didn't shoot 3 people. She shot 4 and only 1 fatally, and that was herself. Right? Wait, or did she not even kill herself appropriately? Nassim, let me see. Did she die? Let's see. Yeah, she's the only one who died. Three injured by gunfire, 4 injured total. Let's see. She's very right wing, as you guys know. She was a vegan activist and animal lover. So there you go. YouTube stopped paying for her content. She was angry. This was after the adpocalypse. Here's the deal. YouTube took away an embarrassingly small amount of money from this psychopath. Like, YouTube took away no money. This is a vegan activist, right? Getting paid dollars a year. And they took that away. What happens when someone cancels someone out of, hundreds of thousands of dollars? Someone cancels someone out of the ability to pay for their family. Someone cancels a guy and his wife leaves him because he, no longer has a job or whatever. He's a piece of shit now. What happens when that goes wrong? And you mix in just enough crazy. Whew. We got to stop it. We got to put an end to it. When Rogan says they're mentally ill, they are. They're mentally ill because they do not have empathy. They do not have a moment's pause. They have no remorse. They have no internal monologue. We've learned that. They're NPCs. They parrot a thing until a different thing occurs to distract them. Wait, Destiny was permanently suspended from Twitch? Did that just happen from his big debate? Wow. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, it's going to be scary, and these people don't know what world they're creating, but it's not a good one. We have laws for this stuff to keep people from killing you. That's why there are laws. But they don't care about any of that shit. Publius 88 says, speaking of some dude just snapping, ever seen the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas? One of my favorite movies. Absolutely one of my favorite movies. Love it. Just really wanted to hit Twitch Prime so we could watch it together. Also, guys, I heard Salty Cracker say that he was interested in talking to me about something like the Trump lawsuit or something like that. I will see if I can get in touch. I'd be happy to talk to Salty. Happy to do so. And if he wants to talk about that lawsuit, I'll read up on it. For the purposes of this stream, I haven't actually read up. I'm taking Kurt's word for it. I trust his read of it. The problem I see is that there was clearly There was clearly a bunch of shit going on against Donald Trump in that election. Like, that should be obvious to literally everybody that in 2016, a bunch of shit was happening. Hillary Clinton being obviously primarily involved in that. And it's one of those cases where you can see it, but you may not be able to bring it to court. And that is infuriating. But if anybody's got the lawyers for it, you know, Trump has lawyers who have pulled out some crazy victories, including destroying Stormy Daniels with, by the way, an anti-SLAPP against Stormy Daniels. And she just appealed that. She lost the appeal, and it is done. It is done. Stormy Daniels owes Trump just south of $300,000. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, we'll see what happens with his lawsuit, though. We're always there. We're always willing to be surprised on this stuff. Yeah, according to Trump, he never had an affair with Stormy Daniels. Never at all. So it was all a lie. So there you go. Okay. Let's see. Let me hit these chats over on Odyssey. Herman Armenia says, Nick, commies don't like killing people outright. Starvation's the preferred method. Malik Foxon says, to put things into even further perspective and probably make you madder, January 6 protesters have been held longer than some convicted pedos, and that was before trial. Oh, I know. Oh, believe me, I know. Zalcor07 says, my position on the war has been clear from the start. Fuck everyone involved, and I wish all end up losing and people take back their freedom on their own hands. Great US says, Trump impeachment lawyer Jenna Ellis, quote, because Jackson is not willing to participate in answering question, violates the Constitution. Debate. YouTube. Wait a minute. What is this? Do I have? Here we go. All right. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, youtube.com. I can't just easily copy the link from Odyssey, so I got to type it in. Give me a minute. Wait, maybe I can if I go over here. I can. Oh, thank God. Copy link. Okay, so here's they had Jenna Ellis on Viva and Barnes. Awesome. Awesome. Here, let's pull it up. Let's see what she says here. Share this. Share this. Okay, so here's Jenna Ellis. Viva, his hair. Somebody get control of this man's hair. Somebody get control of Viva's hair. What's going on? What's going on? Barnes is asleep. I'm just kidding. He's just blinking. Here we go.
To vote for her confirmation. But the thing that really upsets me about this, and I wrote an op-ed today in Newsmax, the thing that upsets me is that when she says that she can't and that she doesn't know and that she's lying about that, that means that she is not willing to participate in a constitutionally required process, because for an appointment of a federal judge, that has to go through advice and consent of the Senate. Why? So that we make sure that the judicial philosophy of what is supposed to be the unbiased political, or the unbiased branch of government, not political, that she will maintain her oath of office. And so by not participating in that process and declining to answer and say that she can't, as a candidate for the US Supreme Court, she is undermining the Constitution and actually, in my opinion, violating the Constitution by not being willing to respond. That is disqualifying.
Now, Robert, this is going to be for both of you because I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay, so to mild counterpoint, the answer to her not participating in the process sufficiently would fall then on the Senate to vote no. I'm not quite sure. I get what Jen is saying, but I think that would be the political question nature of it, that the Senate is tasked with confirming her. And if they're, if they're dissatisfied with her participation or lack thereof, then they should not confirm her. Unfortunately, I don't think the senators have the balls. But that's me. That's me. I'd love to talk to Jenna Ellis sometime. She's fascinating. She's right up there in the tip top of the Trump campaign fight, I should say. And you know, she's very interesting and very outspoken. So she's great. I think she's right. I mean, if you're not willing to participate in the process, you are in fact subverting the process by definition. However, I think that the remedy is likely that they should just not confirm her. And maybe that's what she said in context. I don't know. Okay. What's next? What's next? Mephisto's movie review. Just a friendly reminder, Nick, contact me and let's talk movies. I have a better accent than the drinker. Kurt is invited too. Owlery says it's Aquamam. It's Aquamam. Very good. And Zalcor says the gargoyles are making fun of your 10 vigor meta. Well, I'm making fun of the gargoyles because today I will probably not beat them, but I'm going to try. Emorsk says, when will Uncivil get on Rumble? Also keep up the good work. I don't know. Rumble username sucks, says Kurt, upon finding out that Wes now works in IT. Is it like that old Onion article, man who thought he'd lost all faith in humanity loses last additional bit of faith he didn't even know he still had? SC Medic 71 says, Nick for SCOTUS. Rumble username suck. My proposition for Supreme Court: Bronca, no tie as Chief Justice, Rackets, tie, Andrew, Uncivil, Joe, Smitty, Harris, and Photo Chad as Associate Justices. I think we get some quality opinions out. Wait, Harris? Like Kamala Harris? Or Sam Harris? What Harris? SC Medic 71 says, Uncivil, I heard from a reporter who was at the meet that the NCAA cautioned all the swimmers to not speak to the media. Yeah. Oh, I have no doubt about that. Joe Schmo, 1 of 3, says Slack, the software, was a mistake. Big tech taught us that. Oh, Matt Harris. Oh, yeah. Whew. No, I agree. Matt Harris would be great. That'd be great. Let's see. Selrin says, think of it like Joe. Call her Kitty BJ, KBJ. The Vista Group says, hey, Nick, as a lawyer, what method would you recommend I illegally obtain a bottle of Pappy? Breaking and entering, extortion, some sort of Chinese eBay. I'm with the good old robbery method. Just go up to someone, batter them, beat them, bludgeon them, take their bottle, pee on them. I have no idea. I legitimately don't even know how you acquire one. From what I hear, you have to know someone. I guess you could buy them online, legal, like, basically at an eBay style purchase. No, just find some kid carrying around a bottle of Pappy and just beat the shit out of him. Stupid kid, shouldn't have a bottle of whiskey anyway. Random username says, Nick, I'm going through a hard time. I have to move to Iowa from Texas tomorrow because my wife of 12 years is divorcing me and I have to leave my son behind. I don't know how to go on. Hot damn. Well, sir, I can't speak to that specific situation as I have not been through that. But I will say this. Hold on. Your situation is extremely bleak. Man, you're at the bottom. You've been to the canyon floor and you brought a fucking shovel. Actually, someone gave you a shovel, right? And they said, start digging, you piece of garbage. And so you've been digging and digging and digging. Now you're down. But now it's time to climb the fuck back out, man. And you know why? You told me in your chat why. You got a kid. And I know you got to leave him behind. And I know that your situation fucking sucks. But you have a son. You took on an obligation. And she doesn't get to take away that. And she doesn't get to take away the honor and dignity of being you for that kid. She doesn't get to make you into an absent father. She doesn't get to take that away from you. So it's up to you, though. If you can't find out how to go on and you stop going on, then you've taken it away because she can't. So you've got a kid, you've got an obligation, and I know your situation sucks, but you're a man. And when your situation sucks, you know what you do? You walk. You walk forward. Sorry, brother. Them's the ropes of being us, of being an XY. But I think as time goes on, things will get better and better because I do believe you're about as far deep in the canyon as you can get. So find the wall with the most nubs and start climbing. My sympathies go out to you, man. It sucks. Also moving to Iowa. God, fuck that. All right. Slosher says, joke from Twitter. An excellent follow-up. Pit bulls are 13% of dogs, but responsible for 53% of the attacks on cats. Super Mario Subpoena says, let's see your progress, Kurt. Oh, yeah, Kurt's been hitting the gym. Kurt's been hitting the gym. Good on him. AD says, do you see any lawsuit involving the Florida bill going to SCOTUS? Yes. If the bill passes, yeah, I think it's going to be tracked to Supreme Court pretty quickly. Tall Skinny Geek says, I've heard the bar is bigger in Texas. Donut Swan says they need Map It to work the map servers, obviously, or Map IT to work the map servers. American Legend says, today is the day Kurt took the black pill. Cheers. He did seem to be in a little bit of a mood, which is great. Let's see. Hasselappa says, fuck you. I live in Iowa. Iowa's great. Also not fucking potato country. Yeah. Kick my ass. Iowanian, whatever you are. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah, the bar. So Kurt's taking the bar in Texas. Why? I don't know why. I think he should qualify for transfer. He should just be able to get his license in Texas. He's been practicing in good standing in Virginia. Cancerous cockatoo. A local store has a bottle of 1985 Van Winkle Reserve for 10K Australian. Think you can spot me? No. Wait, 10K Australian. It's like $86. Anyway, so yeah, Kurt's gonna take the bar. So here's the reality. Your knowledge of the law, like the law, is here when you're at the end of law school, and it's like here after bar prep. And then it's just a straight fucking drop after that. Because you are not in it anymore, and you're not in all of these changing different subjects and stuff. You kind of typically focus on one thing, and you go do that thing. And what you need to know at the end of law school and for the bar is a whole bitch load of things. So getting back to that is really tough. No, Elastic Dragonfly, I got it. What I was doing was making a joke because it's funnier if the Y is a penis. To me, probably not to anybody else. I get it. I know who I am, and I tell jokes to make me laugh. Andrew Clark says, Nick set Kurt up with EFAP. He'd fit in great. But how am I supposed to set him up with EFAP? I've never been on EFAP. J Cal says, hey, Nick, just want to say thanks for the streams. Been a serious shitty few years, so having a place to chill that makes me want to be better too is dope. P.S. Anti-pedo rage Nick is best, Nick. Hey, thanks, J Cal. I hope things get better for you, buddy. Master Bader says, entire IT field is filled with degens, mostly transformers and furries. In terms of normie IT, is the construction worker in the white collar sector. What the fuck? Like, I know a bunch of IT guys that are all like white guys in their 30s to 50s, right? Like they're just normal, like they're incidentally white. But they're just guys in their 30s to 50s. I like that don't have like a bunch of piercings and tattoos and haven't cut their dicks off or anything. And then I hear about IT all the time and I'm like, what's with all these other people? What's with all these other people who are around? I don't get that. I don't get that. It's so fucking weird. Go on EFAP brackets anytime. Mahler said he'd have me on sometime. He just needs to find the right movie or whatever. And I'm like, any movie, I'm good. Anything, we can do it. Ray L says, Nick, explain to me why Dora the Explorer always looks for maps. You know why. She's always looking for someone to touch her. It's a crying shame. I'll take Trump over Kurt every day of the week. Mark Duquesne says, the Wong Kim Ark Supreme Court decision was pretty long, but incredibly well-researched and informative on the subject. Nobody opining on it reads it. Schilfer says, 4.3 thousand viewers. Smash that like for Nick and Kurt. He also says, any obvious bias patterns in her sentences? I don't know. I haven't researched the demographics of everyone she sentenced, but the obvious bias pattern is that she's lenient on pedophiles. It's a crying shame says, I'll never listen to Kurt again. Melancholic Nomad says, it's fun living in Australia with Scotty from marketing as prime minister. Jason Will says, all child peds should be given the business. Oh, shit. Trevor R says, this man is the best thing to happen to America. Money Can't Buy Knives says, look at how physically imposing that is. Ryan Wright says, how would Judge Borowski do on the Supreme Court? Oh, he'd be fucking great. All of his opinions would be like 2 pages long, and he'd mostly just say, this is stupid. This is bullshit. Melancholic Nomad says his wife's boyfriend thinks he's a chill guy. Vienna Waits for You says, I'd be a senator only if I could make millions having one of my relatives sit on the board of an oil and gas company in some corrupt country in Europe. B. Ivory Law. Why would you do that, Vienna Waits for You? You wouldn't be making the millions. Your son would. He definitely couldn't give them back to you, not even 10%. Just do the Pelosi method, right? The Pelosi method, where you suddenly become worth $250 million on a $180,000 salary. Do we need a poll? Who here would have sex with Nancy Pelosi? I would not. I'm going to put that out there, but who actually would? It's we're going to do an anonymous poll. Here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it now. Nancy Pelosi now. Let's see it. Now that it's anonymous, no one can track your answer to you. We got to find out what. We got to find out just how degenerate this chat is. We got to find out. B. Ivory Law says, looky here, I be explicating what a woman is being. Emily Wooten says, as a woman, I'd rather tear the sports apart briefly, make people fight back for women's representation in sports. Only way to fix it, F the progressives up. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. You'd have to basically fully integrate the sports together, and then show everybody the reason why we segregated them in the first place. Like you'd have to do that. Say that it does not work in sports. All are not equal in all sports. Men don't do balance beam, because if you fall on the balance beam, you crush your fucking testicles, and no man wants to do that. Andrew, a random username, says it's tough out here dating. All the women are divorced with kids, past 30, or slept around with dozens / hundreds of men before wanting to settle down. Yeah, I can't imagine how to do it. I have no idea. No idea how dudes would date today. I don't got it. I don't know. I don't have any advice there. Andrew Clark says EFAP this week is a copyright issue with Hassan. Really? I was just on with Mahler and Drinker, and he said he didn't know what the show was going to be this weekend. Ron Crossman says, when you walk into work, you leave your personal problems at the door. You could pick them back up when you leave. This is sadly not commonplace anymore. I agree. It's a crying shame. Says, if you are equal trust, if you trust Ukraine over Russia, let me know, because I'm out. I don't trust either. I don't trust any of the news about Ukraine and Russia. I don't know what to believe. I don't know how you even find the truth. There's so much motivation for it to be propagandized that so I just don't pay attention to it. I don't give a shit. Thrashify says, I was jailed for a domestic dispute. Case was dropped. I proved the lies. The DA wanted me to register as a predatory offender for 10 years in Minnesota. Insane. The case was dropped. Shit. 4 doors more horse. Says, we live in rural New Mexico and my wife has served on 9 juries in her life. I've been dismissed every time. Reasons? No idea. I've never even been called. I left a letter off of Nancy. Oh, yeah, Nancy Pelosi. Well, Nancy's a lot hotter than Nancy. 17% of you so far, absolutely disgusting degenerates. Gross. I appreciate you and your honesty. HS says South Sudan, 2010s. Ryuzan says, when Republicans start wars, Muslims die. When it's Democrats, Orthodox Christians die. Serbians, Macedonians, Russians stand with the armies of God. Dude, I've been listening to a lot more Sabaton lately. Whoo! Whoo! The Soldier of Heaven is awesome. The Winged Hussars. Wow. Gert Doyle says, search YouTube, State for Defense Ben Wallace, Voven. What the fuck is that? UK Secretary of State for Defense Ben Wallace discusses strategic priorities. Okay. I have no idea what that is. But it's an hour long. Allie Richardson says, my first super chat here. Hey, thank you, Allie. Found you through Tug and Yellow Flash. I'm looking forward to Johnny Depp coverage next month. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Rael says, Trump doesn't need to prove anything. 1/2 his RICO targets have already been indicted on the charges. Even if he can't win all, he'll win those. We'll see. Hopefully. 16 minutes. It's 58 minutes. Kurt Doyle. The video I find is 58 minutes. Well, it's worth the 16 minutes. I'll have to look at it. Video prank with UK Secretary of State for Defense Ben Wallace, full video. That one's 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, I think that's what you're talking about. I'll do that. I'm not going to do it on this show. I have a chance to end this thing early and go play some Elden Ring, or end this thing on early, being literally on time. But maybe we'll do it tomorrow, depending on what the show is. Rael's Howdy Doodly Champion the Diddly Doodler says, I remember seeing a YouTube news channel 10 years ago Had a story on a judge ruling that it wasn't illegal to view CP. Guy went away for having it. Weird. It is illegal. Well, it's illegal to have it, yes. I guess there technically might not be a law against viewing it because the possession of it is the criminal act. They don't care. They actually don't care if you look at the video, right? Like if you acquired it and traded it or whatever. That's what matters. Udiz 4321 says, unironically, Russia did nothing wrong. America caused this war by telling 3 Ukrainians we have your back and then backing out. Bad Dragonite says, where the fuck did we go? Shit. Bad Dragonite says, Nick, you got to get Ty and Arch both on to talk about the Russia conflict, nerdy aspects of war, and 40K. Ron Toye III says, Murphy is currently using an anti-SLAPP on me. Fastidious says, the judge in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial just had her promotion confirmed by the Senate. Heard about it from Inner City Press. 49-47. Yays were all Democrats, except for Collins, Graham, and Kennedy. So there you go. Good job, Judge, in Ghislaine Maxwell's case. Emmanuel Collins says supporting Russia is like supporting Cuba during communism. If you dislike our half-woke society, go live in a dictatorship. It is stupid overcorrection. Amateur Ant says, Nick, you should read the Applebee's leaked email. It was funny and messed up at the same time. Phil Abudi says, was Matthew Harris Jack Murphy'd by a white jock? Yes. A white jock and a Jewish guy. Apparently his blonde haired German princess was out fucking not him. And he got really pissed off. That's the whole thing. That's honestly the whole reason that manifesto exists is because he lost. That's why there's so many chapters about how he's a sex god or whatever. It's so funny. C. Goody says, tell Kurt to stop timing people arbitrarily. He can mod his own channel like a piece of shit fucktard, not this one. Wait, was he doing that in here? Oh, damn it. Bad Weather Biker says, when a person loses everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. AD says, mass shooting in Arkansas, 28 people shot, but no mention in MSM. I wonder why. Randy's retired says, the fact the FISA court hasn't held FBI leaders in contempt for the lies on the warrant applications means they were in on the conspiracy. Of course they are. But it's not the FISA court's job they're not a criminal court. They can't do anything about that. The person was punished for the lie, right? He got no jail time, remember? Because his wife's having a baby. We couldn't put him in jail. Pastafarius says, if appointees are not participating with answers like I don't remember, aren't all of them not participating? Depends on what they mean. One of the things I noticed, and I did not watch the whole hearing, right, at all. But with the Tom Cotton thing, I was starting to talk about this, and then I think my kid interrupted, and so I didn't get around to finishing the thought. There were some things where she reasonably said, I don't know, that's not really my role as a judge, etc. But then she said that she had opinions about things. He asked her what her opinions were, and she said, I don't know. And then she, in the next sentence, said she did have opinions about those things as the family of law enforcement. And I think Tom Cotton should have said, wait, you say you have opinions of those things as the family of law enforcement. You just said that you did. But a minute ago, you said you didn't have them. So what are they? What are they? Because she did that. She did this back and forth flop, which bothered the shit out of me. Howdy Doodly Champion, the Diddly Doodler says, what strings do we have to pull to get the Matthew Harris on a daily Unbreaded? He's got to get out of jail. I would interview him in a heartbeat. I think the guy is fascinatingly insane. Jackson Kai says, everyone, I'd probably have to do it on Rumble and Odyssey exclusively, I'm guessing. Jackson Kai says everyone who voted yes on that poll is officially a necrophiliac, especially the kind that dig up graves. I mean, she has those big fake boobs, right? Like she's got that jaw that can unhinge. You know, I mean, maybe there's something there for somebody. It's not really for me. She does. You're saying what the fuck? Stop. She does. Have you ever seen her talk? Her jaw like pops out, like hangs down for a little while, and she has to like put it back. It's weird. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if she's just like eating thermoses or something. Boobs have freezer burn. I'm just saying some people might be into that. I'm not into that. I think Nancy Pelosi is hideous. And I would never put my penis in a corpse. Vox Arturnus says, apparently Judge Jackson was a providing judge over the Pizzagate shooter case. Yes. There's an old ABC News article naming her as a judge. She was. That is correct. Jiffy the Magic Elf says more like Nancy Plowski. Ayo. Tank Commando says, how much of the 250 million would I get if I released a Pelosi P tape? Can't vote until I know. You got to be able to squeeze 5% out of that. As Cyber Taz says, yes, with Nancy, if it unalives her accidentally. Damn. Getting rough with the old lady. What if she gets rough with you, though? What if she's like La Tigra and she's just a monster in the sack? And you're like, oh, goddamn. And like, you're the one breaking hips. Think about it. Hey, is Quarter Black in the chat? I see him named. Hey, there he is. Quarter Black. No. To you, sir, I say.
I doubt it.
I do not. And
I hope you die in prison as well.
That's right. Fuck you, Quarter Black. Take that. Okay. Cody says, I'd do Nancy than sue for taking advantage of her power and be a few mil richer. Peter Keys says, I miss Pixel Art Nick from yesterday. Thoughts on Warhammer previews? I haven't watched them yet. I heard they're really good. The Horus Heresy one, I heard it's good. Lorgar Apologist says, Nick, I sent you that Slaneshi super chat yesterday. Why'd you mute your response? Real men aren't afraid to wear flayed skin or pink. Wait, what? Mute my response. Peter Keys, thanks for the donation. Special Case says, I'm trying to save everyone by laying the pipe down so hard she goes to the ER. Also money, by that logic, and technically a hero. Go for it, Special K. I respect you for taking one for the team. As Cybertaz says, if she gets rough or brings in AOC, I'm gonna coom. Okay, new poll. End poll. Since this pisses off AOC, so we're gonna do it. Who here would bang AOC? Give me them horse chompers. You. There we go. There you go, guys. Hit that new poll here. Rumble username sucks says, I'm betting the under on Kitty BJ, as Joe calls her, against you and Kurt. She needs to get borked harder than Bork. You can collect @/after Matsuri if I lose, I suppose. I just think the Republicans are such cocks. Time Traveler says, I would fuck the communism out of that horse. Holy shit. Oh. Oh God. I wonder if is there an AOC body pillow that I could send to like the other law tubers? That'd be funny. SC Medic 71 says I would pass out and die before I was drunk enough to do it. Oh, for the Nancy Pelosi thing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you get to time travel back to when she was somewhat hot? No, you got to take them as you find them. Icon of Sin says I would rather bang Pelosi than AOC. Have you seen Pelosi's booba? And not a hint of sag, dipping into that aborted child blood or something miraculous. Do you think she eats AOC's abortions? Shit. That's why she can unhinge her jaw, by the way. She has to be able to eat any term abortion that's out there. She's in DC. They can do the full like late term abortions there. So she's gonna be able to and then shove the whole fetus into her mouth. Ryan H says someone from Russia sent SFO a George Floyd pillow. Who the fuck is SFO? Alt-Lex, anyone who makes a Nancy Pelosi documentary deserves to be on whatever government watch list they're already on. Alex Scott Thompson says confirmed there is indeed an AOC body pillow. No, there is not. There fucking is. It's $18 and it's sold out. It's out of stock. How do I? Oh, it's fucking out of stock. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, then it gets creepy. All right. It's sold out. I'm dead. I cannot believe you get one for Drex. See if I can order one. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Out of stock. How to add the wish. Fuck. They got a Bernie Sanders one, a Kamala Harris one, Mitch McConnell. Oh, filthy. Disgusting. Fucking hell. You can't order it while it's out of stock. Shit. On Amazon, it's a shitty Joe Biden pillow. Let's see. AOC body pillow. The Joe Biden pillow is unavailable. What? This is a bunch of pregnancy pillows. Fuck this. Maybe I have to type in Docky. All departments. AOC Documakura. Is it Documakura or Documakura? Just say first or second. Damn, they don't have any on. They don't have any on Amazon. They must not exist. That one that's sold out is the only one. God, it would be funny. I would definitely send it to Drax, but they don't have it. Dennis Hinkle says, stop. I'm going to have to change channel. Okay. Well, we are going to stop. That's the good news. We got a couple more chats that came in, but we're going to stop here. SC Medic 71 says, Ari AOC, I would hammer that mayor until she could define what a woman is. Ryan, Lost Bullet says, I would be the only conservative bone in AOC's body. Jiffy the Magic Elf sent something that got censored. S Cyber Taz says, I will be posting a story with Jen Psaki and AOC on my channel later this weekend after I finish writing it. Oh my God. I don't have the Bernie one pulled up, Jack. I closed all that shit out. So, all right, guys, that's it. It's just after 2 a.m. I'm going to sign off of YouTube here, and I'm going to play some Elden Ring on Twitch. It has been a fun time playing Elden Ring for me, except for the fight that I'm on right now, which is not fun. It's like drilling your knees with a power drill. One of those hammer drills, too, that's used for drilling through concrete. That's what it's like. So if you want to come see me bash my face into my fucking fist over and over and over again, come to twitch.tv/Ricada Law. Yes, I will be doing a thought stream in the near future. I have to acquire all the thoughterly materials before I can do it. But once I have them, I will let you know. And yeah, I'm not going to say what else I was going to talk about because people just make fun of me. So there, that's it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I will talk to you in a little bit over on Twitch, or I'll talk to you tomorrow right back here on YouTube. I don't know if there will be a daytime show or not. I really want to do a locals exclusive live stream because I've been neglecting those, and I need to do some just locals chats that and stuff because I love doing them. I unironically like the setup on locals for interacting with people in the chat and stuff. So look for some of those coming in the near future. So we'll be figuring that out as I try to get back into any semblance of routine. But we'll talk soon. And yeah, we have to do. I have a very important locals video to do actually. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow because you guys need some fucking help, and I'm the only one who can do it. I'm the only guy who can actually help you. So we'll see. But until then, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an ardbeg, a bow, more of that broad. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law